Tonight we return to legendary Land People Stadium for the second game of our kickoff triple hitter. The Jets of James Clemens have made the trip down from Huntsville with intentions of spoiling the season opener for the Murphy Panthers. But Panthers head coach Rico Jackson will have none of that as he looks to continue his season opening winning streak at Murphy. Get ready, it's a 7A battle of the big boys for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Bishopsgate Community College. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Whedon along with Corey LeBounty. Corey, you could kind of say this is a mini playoff game tonight for Murphy and James Clemens.
Absolutely. Anytime you're able to play a non-region 7A opponent, it's always a confidence booster if you're able to win it because it lets you know where you stand in your particular division, which is 7A football, what we call big boy football here in the state of Alabama. So looking forward to this contest tonight.
And something we weren't looking forward to was the rain, Corey. As you guys can see, we are under the tent. We do appreciate your patience tonight due to the weather delay. We had a major storm system that came through, and Corey, we had to run for the covers. Everyone did.
No question about it, Al. We're about an hour and a half rain delay, but James Clemens comes all the way down from Huntsville, which is about a 6.5, 7-hour drive.
That's right.
They did not want to drive back empty-handed. Again, this is a ranked team. It gives both teams an opportunity not to have to wait a whole nother week.
Right.
You had James Clemens, who had a jamboree last week. Not Murphy, though. Murphy's first opportunity to test itself besides their spring game. So very excited for both of these teams from Huntsville and Mobile to finally get a football game here close to 8:30 tonight. We're going to have a late one, but better late than never.
Better late than never, and I'm glad it's Friday. My kids have no homework. I have no homework either, Corey. I'm ready for the game tomorrow as well, but we're going to play a game tonight. So let's get over to your checklist. Take a look at both of these teams, and what are your keys to the games for James Clemens and Murphy tonight?
Well, when you start talking about Murphy first, they have to be able to run the football. That's one of the things that Coach Rico Jackson says his team is going to do well, running back by committee. Maybe 4 running backs shown tonight by Murphy.
Right.
They must Panther pounce. What do I mean by that? They must make sure they get to the football, wrap up and tackle, and not have a lot of arm tackles. Also, they must minimize mental mistakes. There cannot be a lot of penalties against them. If they have a big explosive play, it can't be brought back because of some type of penalty. On the other side, James Clemens comes here from Huntsville, Alabama. They must be balanced. One of the biggest things they want to be able to do is run the football as well as pass the football and be effective doing both. They have to stay ahead of down and distance situations. They don't want to get in second and long, and they want to create second and long for the Murphy Panthers. And they have to have a strong start.
Right.
Al, I mentioned that they drove 6.5 to 7 hours. They've been on a bus. They've been on their feet all day long. So they don't want to get behind here in enemy territory. So that's very important for both of these teams to see how they start, especially after an hour and a half rain delay.
Well, Corey, talking about James Clemens, my producer just read my mind. I know our buddy Wade Ford down in the truck made this great graphic of information about James Clemens and the Jets and who they are and what they represent. And we want to give a big shout out to all of the Jets fans up there in Madison watching their team tonight because they're checking us out on Facebook and YouTube. So as you can see it right there, James Clemens located in Madison. That's a 348-mile drive down here to Mobile, established in 2012, right next to the Redstone Arsenal. That's a huge, huge, huge thing up there in the Huntsville area. As you can see, named after James Clemens. He was the founder of Madison, Alabama, and enrollment based in 2018 and 2019, 1,900 kids. And Corey, the key right there, established in 2012. We are in 2021. You're looking at a team that has been to the playoffs last 6 of the 7 years. A very successful program up there in James Clemens. As you can see, they won the region in 2018 and 2019. So thanks, Wade, for getting that up and letting the folks down here in Mobile know who they're up against tonight, the Murphy Panthers, because this team is ranked number 9 in the state, Corey, and it is a very well-run program.
I agree with you, and when you start talking about the success of the head coach of James Clemens. In his first year, Chad McGee, we had an opportunity to talk with him. And James Clemens, again, is playing in a very tough region.
That's right.
Up in North Alabama. So having that experience 1 week ago in a Jamboree game, it'll be interesting to see who that benefits tonight. But I can tell you this, Al, you're not going to make a 6.5 to 7 hour drive and not be prepared and not be ready to play football, rain delay or not. Both of these teams are ready to put toe to leather for their initial 2021 football game.
A little backstory about how this game came about. I asked Coach McGee, how did it get on the schedule? Well, you just said it. He's a brand new coach. He said, well, I don't know. The game was already booked. I asked Coach Rico Jackson of Murphy, Coach, how did you book a 7A opponent the first week? He said, Al, a couple years ago when we had the reclassification and you got, every 2 years your schedules changed, I couldn't find an opponent locally to play. Principal Toomey, who used to be the principal at Murphy, knew the principal up in James Clemens. Just so happened they needed a game as well for the next couple of years. They got together, worked it on out, Corey, and that's how we have this particular contest. We know last year the game could not be played due to COVID. Murphy was supposed to travel up to Madison. With that, the rule instituted, if you forfeit the game, you have to go and repay the opponent. So that is why James Clemens is coming down here tonight to play Murphy. So it's a very rare situation where you get to face a region opponent, not your region opponent, but someone in your same classification the first week, Corey. So this is a real big deal. A lot of people don't see the underlying details of this game. Literally, it's like a mini playoff game when you get down to it.
Yeah, it's your strength of schedule. Tiebreaker situations, if they come up at the end of the season, you want to go to your strength of schedule. Playing a 7A opponent instead of a 2A or 3A opponent pays dividends for your program. Also, it gives you an opportunity to weigh yourself, again, against the Northern Division of who you may cross with sometime down in the playoffs. But we're excited to have this contest here at Lab Peoples Stadium. The initial kickoff, Coach Rico Jackson enters his third season as head coach of the Murphy Panthers. And looks like the Murphy Panthers are going to kick the football off first to the visiting James Clemens Jets.
Back for the Jets, you're going to have Kamari Pittman and also Tyreek Walker handling kicking duties tonight. Edie Bingy, we know that he is typically the place kicker for the Panthers, but he will also handle kicking and punting duties tonight as well. So we are just moments away from kicking off our second of 3 in a row. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll return back to Lab Peoples, Corey, for, man, it's going to be big. Blunt versus Biger, and that ball game is going to be at 5 p.m. tomorrow. We will go up live at 4:50, but right now we're a little bit delayed from 7 o'clock, but we're going to do this thing right here about 8:35 as we're about to kick off James Clemens versus Murphy. There's the kick from Edie Bingy. Under this tent, Corey, I don't believe we have our binoculars tonight, so we're going to be stretching to check out these numbers. But James Clemens' offense, rising junior quarterback Gio Lopez, he's going to lead the Jets on the field tonight. He's a lefty with several offers already. He'll try to connect with wide-out speedsters Kamari Pittman and Tyreek Walker. And also watch out for Gabe Ballard running the block right out of the backfield. He will run behind big right guard Edgerrin Watson. And there's the carry right there by the Clemens. We'll get the starting lineup here, and we have a flag already. Corey, we'll take a look at the starting lineup here for the Jets.
That's one of the things, though, that you have to be mindful of. Last night we had over 35 penalties combined in the Williamson versus LaFleur game. Those first game jitters for both teams lead to it. Murphy was a little late getting out on the field, but was able to find a way to get a penalty on James Clemens nonetheless.
There's the starting lineup as we talk about Gio Lopez. He's leading the Jets tonight. Look out for Gabe Ballard running that ball, and the big right guard Edgerrin Watson, 6'4" senior. He has over 10 offers. That Jets offensive line averages 271 pounds. Pass complete to the receiver out wide, but he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, possibly no gain. It'll be second down for the Jets coming up.
DeJuan Lucky, the cornerback for Murphy, he's a sophomore, comes up and makes the stop for the Panthers. Like you said, a little bit of a gain, maybe a 5-yard gain. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go for James Clemens. And they're going with a lot of tempo, getting quickly out of the huddle, snapping the ball before 15 seconds is left on the play clock.
A little quick out to Walker. He's trying to cut back to the middle on that screen. Maybe picks up 1 or 2 as that Panthers defense is tightening up early here in the contest. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up for the Jets.
Lopez completed to Walker, the 6', 165-pound senior for the Jets. And offensive coordinator Clint Woodfin, his team averaged 22.7 points a year ago. Murphy, led by defensive coordinator Tellis Stone, gave up 21 year ago, but Murphy's out of the 3-4 defensive set.
We'll call it 3rd and about 7 here for the Jets. Play clock under 10 seconds. Man goes into motion. Lopez just taking his time, Corey. Rolling out to his strong side, his left side, trying to find someone. Cannot. And he does throw it. He does have a guy deep. Pulls it in. That is complete. Great catch by Tyreek Walker. And the Jets are near the red zone.
And what happened with that is Lopez was able to roll to his strong side to the left, but the cornerback, Josh Reynolds, got caught looking in the backfield, allowing the wide receiver to get behind him, and it was almost an incomplete pass and drop, but nonetheless, it's first down and 10 yards to go from the Panther 22-yard line.
Lopez moving around in the pocket, dumps it off right quick, gets it out to his guy.
That's going to be
Dante Snodgrass. Snodgrass coming out of his halfback position. 2nd down and about 6 coming up here for the Jets. I like the look of Lopez, man. He's a junior. He's got a great arm on him, Corey.
It looks like he's very comfortable getting outside of the pocket,
Yes,
rolling
sir.
outside of the pocket and not standing inside of it. Looks like he's very effective rolling outside of it.
Over the top, he tries to connect with his receiver. Incomplete. That pass intended for number 19, Kobe Johnson.
A good play fake right there. Johnson was just not able to come away with it. The 5'10", 160-pound senior, that look was straight down the seams.
Right.
If he was able to snag it, he had 6. So you can best believe that offensive coordinator is going to go back to that look again.
3rd and 6 here for the Jets. Just inside of the red zone. Lopez does have a guy, and that ball is intercepted. No, incomplete. Almost picked off by the Panthers.
And that's a huge defensive stop. You would probably rather it go ahead and be incomplete.
That's right.
You won't gain possession of the football, but good job by Rashad McWhirter, I do believe, from his free safety position. The senior coming up and disrupting that play. We'll take a look at the replay as you see Lopez roll out to his right, tipped away, and almost intercepted by Rashad McWhirter. 4th down and 6 yards to go, and there's going to be a penalty flag on the play. It's going to be against Murphy.
Penalty against Murphy, and he's been ejected. Looks like a personal foul.
Wow.
We don't know which particular player that was, so that's going to move the ball inside of the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal coming up for the Jets. I don't know if we can get that replay up right quick, but that's an ejection, Corey.
Yeah, that's a 1st and goal now. That's a huge penalty called against the
Wow.
Murphy Panthers. Not only did it lead to an automatic 1st down, it led to an ejection, and I couldn't see who was ejected for the Panthers. I didn't see anybody come off the sidelines.
Correct.
But
We had some trouble with Ron Coleman's mic last night, so hopefully we can get him mic'd up tonight. We weren't able to hear a word he said last night, Corey, with any of his calls. Same. It looks like the same officials crew tonight as it was last night.
White hat, yes. Ron Coleman is our white hat. The rest of the officials are a little bit different.
Lopez rolling out to a strong side.
He stepped out of bounds.
I believe he stepped out of bounds, and there it is. Corey, good observation. Rest of the crew knew tonight, and they got him right there at the 14-yard line. So he's going to take a 5-yard loss on that play. It'll be still second and goal for the Jets.
Backs them up a little bit, and sometimes that's a blessing in disguise because it gives the offensive coordinator a little bit more real estate to work with.
Second and goal here. Hand off to Snodgrass. He's just trying to barrel his way back, possibly to the line of scrimmage. I believe he's going to be just short of the 9-yard line. So it'll be third and goal here for the Jets.
Snodgrass, the senior running back for James Clemens, and now you're looking at a third down and goal to go from right at the 10-yard line of the Murphy Panthers. So we saw that they were able to get a penalty on the last series that gave them an automatic first down. Let's see if this Murphy Panther defense can hold.
We've called Snodgrass's name a few times tonight. Haven't seen Ballard touching the ball too much. Snodgrass seems to have the hot hand, Corey. Play clock under 5 seconds here. Little play action, trying to go over the top to Kobe once again. Incomplete. That ball a little too hot and too high to connect with Johnson.
Great coverage on the play by defensive back. Looks like Josh Reynolds on the play. Intended for Kobe Johnson. Brings up fourth down and goal to go from the 10-yard line. And if they decide to kick the field goal, it'll be right at a 27-yard attempt.
That's what we're looking like here. Aaron Rowe. So we're looking at a 27-yard field goal attempt here from the far hash. Kick is up.
Flag on the play.
But there's a flag on the play. That's something we were familiar with last night, Corey. That's going to cost them 5 yards as Ron Coleman signals false start against the Jets.
Yeah, and that will be critical because now you're talking about the distance between a 27-yarder and a 32-yarder.
32-yarder, right.
And that's a big difference sometimes for a kicker. It looks like he had the leg in it, and I watched him in pregame warm-ups, was comfortable from this distance, but let's see if he can go ahead and have the accuracy along with the foot to go behind it.
Corey, you're a better guy than me. I was watching a concourse during warm-ups because that lightning was doing some dancing around the sky here. 32-yarder coming up for Rowe. Puts his foot into it. And we have our first points of the board on the board at the 7:40 mark. James Clemens on top, 3-0 over Murphy. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Wheaton, Corey LeBounty. James Clemens on top with a 32-yard field goal from Aaron Rowe. Great first drive put together there by the Jets, Corey, but it was saved by a penalty that cost the Panthers an ejected player. They had actually stopped James Clemens, but that personal unsportsmanlike foul, having it leading to the ejection, gave the Jets a second life, and they capitalized with some points. So we'll call it points off a penalty. How about that? Absolutely. Points off ejection, rather.
Absolutely.
Rowe booms that one out of the end zone for a touchback.
And that's what you want to see out of your kicker. Again, seeing him in the pregame warm-ups, we knew he had the leg, and keeping the accuracy of the ball being in bounds before it goes across that end zone for a touchback is what you want to see. And we saw that, brings it out to the 20-yard line in high school football. 1st and 10 for the Murphy Panthers, and we'll get our first look at this offense for the Panthers in 2021.
Led by quarterback Derek Davis. He's a senior quarterback, actually converted over from wide receiver. We'll get that starting lineup posted in a matter of moments for you. Little quick out to the halfback running back there for the Panthers as he bulls his way forward. Nice catch by Corey Kelly. That lineup for the Panthers led by Senior quarterback Derek Davis, he's a converted wide receiver, as I said, and tonight he won't just throw it to his wideouts, but to a claw of Panthers. Look for Corey Kelly. He just received that one to be one of the many that Rico Jackson will employ to catch and run the rock for the Panthers. They will be behind an offensive line that features the only returning offensive starters from last year's team, senior left tackle Devon Smith, junior Zykees James, Christian Boyd, and Malachi Howard. As Kelly runs that one for about a yard. That offensive line, Corey, it averages, are you ready? I'm glad you're sitting down, 289 pounds.
That's a big group up front. And
big bunch.
Again, you want to try to move the chains. Murphy so far was able to pick up that early first down. It's going to bring up now 2nd down and 9 yards to go.
Long 9 here for the Panthers. Davis trying to connect with the receiver, a little pushing, a little going, and that ball is hauled in but dropped.
Fumble.
That is a live ball. That's a fumble. Greg Robinson had it. I don't know if it was punched out or he just dropped it, Corey, but that is a turnover.
But it was a great catch by Greg Robinson, the senior, and he's got to learn to shake that one off. I would like to see the replay to see whether he stepped out of bounds. A great pass by Davis, hitting the wide receiver. He did not step out. It was just punched out. Great job by the defensive back right there. Keenan Hill, the 6'1", 175-pound senior, creates a turnover off an explosive play for the Murphy Panthers. Just like that, Al, we have a quick flip of the field now. We had points off penalties. Now let's see if we have points off turnovers for the James Clemens Jets.
Jets setting up at their own 26-yard line. We'll take another look at that offense led by junior quarterback Gio Lopez. And the Panthers defense back on the field. They were just on for the first series as James Clemens had the ball, man in motion. Hand off to Snodgrass as he takes a run. Let's take a look at that Murphy defense. We weren't able to get it up earlier. You talked about it, Corey. They play out of a 3-4, but may switch to a 4-3 depending on what they see tonight from the Jets. Rushing from the edges, 6'4" defensive end Jamani Johnson, backed up by linebacker Tyler Thornton as well. Out on the edge, Josh Reynolds. He'll be patrolling for picks along with safety Rashad McQuarter from his free safety position. Up front, nose tackle Brandon Thompson-Evans. He's going to try to clog up the middle with his 254-pound frame, as you saw right there, kind of stopping the Jets for a short gain, setting up 3rd and about maybe 5 or a long 6, Corey.
From his nose tackle position, Brandon Thompson-Evans, the sophomore with the stop. And they're going to list it at 3rd down and 5 yards to go, and it is going to be a heat timeout.
Heat timeout at 5:59 here. And, Corey, we definitely could use the heat timeout because that humidity is, whoa, after that rain shower we had. So I don't know if we're able to get the weather forecast up. If we can take a look at it for the rest of the night. As you told me before we kicked off, we are the latest kickoff in the state of Alabama tonight, Corey. So it is what it is, man.
If you're James Clemens, you don't mind the 6.5 to 7 hour ride that you know is awaiting you at the end of tonight's contest. I tell you what makes the ride a little bit easier is the fact that if you're able to come away with the win against this Murphy Panthers team, if you're not, it's a situation to where the ride is not as comfortable as you would like it to be.
Let's take a look at these two coaches tonight while we have a break. As Coach Chad McGee, his first year at Clemens, 3 years as a head coach overall, 9 and 11. He played football at the University of Alabama. His favorite food is tacos, Corey. And across from him, Rico Jackson in his 3rd year at Murphy. 10 years as a head coach overall. He's a graduate of Alabama State, and one of the common things we found out from a lot of these coaches, his favorite food, Corey, chicken wings. Coaches like chicken, apparently.
Nothing wrong with that. I know that they have plenty of those available on the grill for the coaches for the James Clemens Jets, but we like the information that was shared by first-year head coach Chad McGee, and want to thank him a lot for being cooperative with our broadcast.
3rd and 7 is what Ladd is going to call it. Lopez scrambling around, trying to find someone, does have a man, incomplete. Could not connect with his receiver.
Looks like he was going to Snodgrass out
now,
of
that
the
was
backfield.
Pittman, Kamari Pittman, number 5 there. Could not get it to him. So we'll get to see Aaron Rowe again, Corey, but this time he's going to be punting. So the Panthers he'll help out the offense. No points off turnovers so far right here.
That's big time in this situation where you're going to make the Jets go ahead and test the leg of this young man who's already been successful kicking an extra point. But I like the strategy by Murphy, having 2 guys deep to return the punt.
Corey Kelly and Jalen Etney back for the Panthers. Rowe gets off a very nice punt. and wrapped up. Jalen Etley wrapped up immediately by the Jets right there at the 32-yard line.
Outstanding tackle by James Clemens in the open field. You couldn't ask
as you
for
call
a better
it, Corey, that's
open
textbook
field
tackling right there, man.
Very much so. In that situation, that tackle by Travis Rogers, the 6 foot, 195-pound senior, doing his job as the gunner for the Jets.
James Clemens hasn't won a season opener since 2017 when they last did that. They beat Gardendale 26-14, so they're looking to break that streak tonight. Timeout has been called by Murphy, so let's take a look at the James Clemens defense right quick while we have a break, Corey. The Jets play a 3-4 defense with all-state strong safety Jamal Mayers leading the group. He had 6 interceptions last season and 3 pick sixes. Helping him out will be free safety Cam Barnett. Up front in the trenches, you have nose tackle Ryan Williams and in Darren Verhage. They will try and stop the Panthers tonight with their 6'3 frames. The Jets average 277 pounds with their defensive line, and they already have 1 takeaway tonight.
One of the things that I love about Coach Rico Jackson is the fact that he never goes to the locker room with his timeouts.
You're right
We've
about that.
seen him call 3 consecutive timeouts in a row
We sure
before
have.
in games.
That's right.
And in consecutive games that we've called. So he's not one to shy away from utilizing those timeouts to go along with this first 6 weeks of heat timeouts.
Coming out of this timeout here, Murphy's second possession of the night. And you're right, Corey. Coach Rico Jackson, he'll burn that timeout in a heartbeat. He wants to make sure everyone is on the same page. Derek Davis waiting for the
False start.
snap and another false start, Corey.
Yeah, a little bit.
Those
Too
first game
eager.
jitters, yeah, that can happen.
You know, Murphy's first game was played at Ladd Peoples Stadium on September 2nd, 1948.
Just a few years before I was born, Corey.
Just a few years before I was born. As well, Al. But when you start looking at the history of Murphy Panthers,
Right.
they won 577 games in this rich tradition of the Panther program.
1st and 15. Murphy backed up 5 yards after that penalty. Davis just going to keep it. It'll bring up 2nd and long here for the Panthers.
Big stop by the defensive end. Looks like 6'1", 255-pound senior Darren Verhage. 2nd down and close to 17. I'm going to call it 17 yards
Yeah,
to go
I'm
here
with
at
you.
Ladd.
I think he took about a 2-yard loss. Ladd has not changed it. It's still 2nd and 15 on the scoreboard. Davis with the keeper once again. No surprise there. He's a former wide receiver, so he can handle the rock very well. Picked up maybe 3 or 4. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Panthers coming up. Corey, we're going to try to work in your impact players here in a second, so get yourself ready to talk about the folks who are really making an impact tonight for both of these teams.
And here it is, one of my Corey's checklist keys here. Down in distance, controlling down in distance for the Jets. They've got Murphy at 3rd down and 15 yards to go. Let's see what offensive coordinator Devin Crawford can come up with along with his head coach Rico Jackson, who are cohorts from the offensive standpoint for the Murphy Panthers.
So it is 3rd and 15. Panthers setting up the screen, and that is blown up immediately by the James Clemens Jets. Wow, coming in on that tackle, Corey. Huge.
Great job by the Jets diagnosing it. Looks like Jaden Tolliver Williams.
Yeah.
I really couldn't
Wow.
tell. Looks like that's who it was. It was either 18 or 10. It's kind of hard to identify those numbers from this high up, but nonetheless, that was the one who had to make the tackle as the inside screen was trying to be run. You have to put a helmet on that one player, and if you do, it's going to be positive yardage. But now the Panthers will have to punt the football away to the Jets.
Kimari Pittman back waiting for the punt from Edie Bingy. Low snap, and that ball is partially blocked and kind of squibs out of bounds at about the 29. Great field position for the Jets. Let's try to get up your impact players here, Corey. You can kind of give us an idea of who's making an impact tonight for both of these teams.
Quarterback for Murphy, also the punter, Derek Davis. He's the senior quarterback, and also Andre Woodyard, the Murphy Panthers linebacker. He's a junior. He's trying to be real active for the Murphy Panthers as well. And when you start talking about the James Clemens Jets impact players, we've already mentioned Gio Lopez, the quarterback. He's also throwing, has a strong safety who's an all-stater in Jamal Mayers.
James Clemens with that first play picked up a couple yards, maybe 3, just outside of the red zone. James Clemens dressing out actually about 85, but Coach McGee told me he's bringing about 56 players for the trip tonight, Corey. They have 29 seniors. They return 5 on offense and 5 on defense. Lopez with the keeper. He has enough to pick up the first down. Can he make it into the end zone? And he strides in a 25-yard touchdown for Gio Lopez as the Jets extend their lead.
That was beautiful football as we look at the replay. That was a hat on a hat, and then you had a wide receiver blocking 15 yards down the field. That was a designed quarterback run. The linebacker was not able to come away with it. And look at the wide receiver with the outstanding block to take him into the end zone, and that wide receiver block was made by Tyreek Walker, the 6 foot, 165-pound senior, to make sure his quarterback gets safely into the end zone. 6 more points for the Jets, who have gotten off to a strong start here at Ladd Peoples Stadium.
2:24 remains in the first quarter. Rowe on for the extra point. The fake is on, Corey. The fake is on as the holder tries to sneak it in for 2. Did he get the pylon? And he did. So James Clemens tacks an extra point on with the 2-point conversion trickeration. Don't move. More is headed your way. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
Schools would like to thank our learning leading community partners. Thank you, Mobile County Health Department, Mobile Infirmary, and USA Health for partnering with MCPSS to vaccinate our employees and the community against COVID-19.
We welcome you back to Ladd Peoples Stadium. The James Clemens Jets extend their lead off of that 2-play, 25-yard drive capped off by the run by quarterback Gio Lopez. And Corey, they even snuck in the 2-point trickeration on us tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a big-time return right here for the Murphy Panthers. Have the blockers.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's going to be a foot race.
Corey Kelly on the run.
Him.
Great return by your namesake, Corey Kelly there.
Yeah.
Brings that one into James Clemens territory. That's the kind of the motivation that the Panthers need to get going.
Absolutely. Trailing 10-0. You just need that spark. You had the explosive catch by Greg Robinson, who had the ball punched out when you were getting close into the red zone. Punched out right about the 30-yard line of the Jets. And your last possession didn't end like you wanted to off a shank punt. And the Jets were able to go ahead and get positive yardage out of it. But here it is. It's going to be at the 48-yard line of James Clemens, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. One back set for Murphy.
Davis fakes the pitch with the RPO. He keeps it, picks up a nice gain of about 5 or 6 with the run.
I like that look by offensive coordinator Devin Crawford as well as Rico Jackson, because now you're giving the defense something to look at later on in the game, because the quarterback Davis decided to keep that ball and not pitch it out, but next time he can go ahead and pitch it. It has to be a great toss. That's the biggest thing. If you're going to pitch it, you have to make sure it is a good toss and the running back sees the ball all the way into his chest.
Tyler Thornton moves back into the backfield for the Panthers, just to the left of Davis. They're setting up the screen as they get it back to Robinson. And, boy, he's got some open field and drops it once again, Corey.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if that one was punched out or if he dropped it.
I think he just came away and could not hold on to the pigskin in that one, but he better be glad that he was angling toward out of bounds.
Here's the replay
We'll
here.
take a quick throw right there, maybe a hold that was not called, but nonetheless, as he was headed punched out by the linebacker
Possibly could have been punched
Jacob
out.
Durham. But again, could not keep that ball in bounds. But as a wide receiver, you've got to go ahead and hold on to that football much tighter. A learning lesson for this wide receiver early in the game.
1st and 10, ball on the 29-yard line of James Clemens as we approach 1 minute, and there's another penalty flag on the play. False start. Typical calls that you'll see in the first ball game. Something we noted last night in our contest, Corey, that James Clemens has already played a scrimmage. Last week against Oxford, they won that game, and that allowed them probably to get some of those first game jitters out the way.
Here it is now, 1st down and 15 for the Panthers. Looking to go ahead and survey is Davis. He has 2 wides to his left, 2 wides to his right.
Fakes it to Thornton. He's going to keep it. Thornton tries to lay a block, but he could not connect with the James Clemens defender, so it'll be 2nd down and long here coming up for Murphy as we are under 35 seconds here in the first quarter.
And I love the pursuit by the defensive end, Darren Farhaj, 6'1", 255 pounds, trails the play and makes the tackle from behind.
Never giving up there, Corey. You're right about that. Davis rolling out. He needs to unload it because the Jets are all on him, and he just goes down as he is just swamped by many of the Jets. Corey, they turned on the afterburners and got after him.
Big nose tackle. Ryan Williams, 6'3", 295 pounds, lays on top of Davis, and Davis comes up hobbling just a little bit. That's something to keep your eye on as we end the first quarter. He'll have a chance to catch his breath in between quarters right here at Lab People Stadium.
That's going to wrap it up for 1 quarter of action. As Davis kind of planted right there, holding his knee. The Jets up 11-0 here over the Panthers, so we're going to keep it right here. Got to thank our folks over there at Bishop State for being a partner with us and sponsoring the show. Don't forget, registration for the fall semester at Bishop State is still going on now. There is still time for you to join the Wildcat family at Bishop State Community College. The fall semester is underway, but you can still register for the late start term or mini term too. Either way, the time to register is now. They are open every day with extended hours to better serve you. Be sure to ask about available scholarships and grant opportunities. Stop by or visit their website at bishop.edu. Bishop State, a great place to start. Also, thanks to our folks at Firehouse Subs, Jim and Susie Sherman. They're taking care of us and the crew, Corey, with the East tonight. So enjoy more subs and save more lives with a portion of subs purchased at Firehouse going to their Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. And lastly, BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com.
Al, we wouldn't be able to do it without the help of these fine sponsors that we have.
Absolutely, Corey.
Here on this MCPSS television broadcast. But we're starting the second quarter of action. The Jets leading the Panthers 11-0.
11-0. 3rd and 10 coming up here. Well, I'm sorry, not 3rd and 10. 3rd and about 15. He has, oh my goodness, could not bring it in. Robinson had it, Corey. I'm sorry, not Robinson. Let's check that. Corey Kelly, number 8. Had it, could not bring it in, so it'll be 4th down for the Panthers.
Well, in this situation with the ball being on the 37-yard line, you look at this throw, he really throws off his back foot, but nonetheless, the wide receiver was open, just was not able to come away with it.
There's your guy right there again.
Jacob Durham.
Jacob Durham, Johnny on the spot. Panthers in no man's land. I think they're going to possibly go for this, Corey.
10 seconds remaining on the play clock. If he's not able to snap this ball, there will be a timeout called so they can reevaluate what they want to do on 4th down
Coach
and
Jackson,
16 yards
Coach Rico
to go.
Jackson will call the timeout in a heartbeat.
Quick kick.
So Derek Davis is listed as the backup punter behind Edie Bingy tonight. And a great punt right there by Davis, and the Panthers play smart and down it at the 4-yard line.
I love that play because you had Jazarian Hardy covering up the football for the Murphy Panthers right on close to the 4-yard line of the Jets. But you don't have to call a timeout because you were going to quick kick it all along. That's one of the benefits of having a punter who's also a quarterback. You can go ahead and quick kick that, and that's exactly what they did on 4th down and 16 yards to go. Now the Jets take over on their own 4-yard line.
Davis
deep
has
in their
gone
own
into the
territory.
tent, Corey. He's gone into the tent with the trainer to possibly take a look at that knee. We saw him go down funny right at the end of the first quarter. The Jets hand it off up the middle on the run with the carry there. Gabe Ballard finally calling his name tonight. Picks up about 3, possibly 4. Let's call it 2nd and 6, Corey.
Stopped by my impact player Andre Woodard on the play, the linebacker who's a junior.
Back to Ballard once again. Boy, he explodes up the middle. First down for the Jets.
I like how hard this young man is running. Snodgrass and Ballard running back by committee. That's how you do it. One running back is in for the entire first quarter. Another one comes in fresh here at the beginning of the second.
Fresh
Even though it rained, the humidity still has played a factor in this contest.
Ballard once again, he's got that hot hand. Snodgrass had it in the first quarter, as you just said, Corey, and that's a first down for the Jets.
Michael Johnson, the strong safety, the sophomore, pushing the runner out of bounds.
Flag on the
looks
far
like there's
side.
a flag over on James Clemens' sidelines.
Right.
Not sure if that's a face mask of where the flag was thrown over there on the far down markers. Ron Coleman, we'll take a look and see what he has.
Holding. No wonder Ballard picked up that first down, Corey. Had a little assistance.
Yeah, and the thing is, even though that holding penalty was called, you still are not at your own 4-yard line because you were able to get a positive yard right before. So you still, again, have a lot of green grass to work from in front of you. And Gio Lopez has been very comfortable rolling out of this pocket, finding his wide receivers, whether it's in the flat or go ahead and giving it to his fresh back, Ballard, who was in the contest. But I like it when you're able to go with a couple of backs, whether it's Ballard or Snodgrass in the game. That's a huge advantage for the Jets.
First down to 13. The line to gain is the 26-yard line. Snodgrass comes in. A little jaw-jacking from one of the Panthers there. We don't need that tonight, Corey. We've already had one Panther ejected.
Yeah, that's a situation that'll cost you a sportsmanship award early anytime there's an ejection. But the Panthers don't give up any positive yards by the Jets. Second down
just
and
one.
10 yards to go. It's a neutral play.
With just 2 yards, they gave him credit for 2 yards. So 2nd and 10 here coming up. Snodgrass goes in motion. And Lopez finds him over the top, trying to connect with his guy once again, Kamari Pittman. And we have another flag on the play right at the 20-yard line.
If Pittman catches that football, he's off to the races, and it's going to be 6 more. And that penalty is going to be an ineligible receiver, I do believe, or an eligible man down the field.
Right, because the way that play was set up, one of the linemen probably leaked out a little too far.
Ron Coleman asking whether the coach wants to decline it.
So he
and
declines
it is declined.
Third down. Be 3rd and 10 coming up here. Nice fake by Lopez right there. Just dumps it over the top. He's
it's
gone.
all for naught.
Right.
Because the penalty is going to bring it back. So I know he's probably happy he didn't catch the football and waste that extra 80-yard dash.
Little screen set up there for Snodgrass. He's efforting his way, trying to get to the
late hit.
First yard marker, and you called it, Corey. We could see that from atop Ladd Stadium here. Late hit by the Panthers. Once again, they have bailed out the Jets. That's going to be an automatic first down.
And you just got to play with composure. No need to talk. Let your playing on the football field do the talking for you.
Correct.
And you're in a situation, I think that's going to be Michael Johnson. There's another flag.
They see that jaw jacking's coming back to pay bad penalty yards, Corey.
We'll take a look and see who this was. If we have a replay, we'll be able to take a look and see who's actually going to be assessed the penalty for the Panthers. Looked like it was either 18 or 19.
Here's Ron Coleman. Let's see if we can read his lips, Corey, and find out what's really happening here.
But you're going to go from 3rd down and 10, possibly, if it's not offsetting, to a 1st down.
There's the personal foul against Murphy. Unsportsmanlike against the Jets.
So you're going to walk. One is an unsportsmanlike.
And one is a personal foul.
And one is a personal. So I think we're going to walk one of them off and then walk the other one off and see exactly where we are. But everything was after the play was over. You look right here as Snodgrass tries to cut back, and here's the late hit out of bounds. That is, looks like it is number 19 who's going to get popped right there and get caught. That's going to be Michael Johnson.
Right.
The sophomore strong safety who gets caught.
They're walking it back to the 25, so it looks like it's going to be 3rd.
About 3.
And about 2 yards. Or now they're moving, the chain gang is moving, Corey, and the down marker says 1st down. Because it was, remember, the first call was a personal foul against Murphy.
So you're going to
so it comes out in the wash. It comes out in the wash. You get the 1st down, but you lose the majority of the yards.
Nonetheless,
because
after
penalty,
everything, 1st and 10 for the Jets from their own 25-yard line.
That we do know, Corey. So the penalty was costly for Murphy. The Jets get another set of downs. Lopez just scrambling and picks up a decent amount of yards, maybe 4 or 5, as he eluded a few of the Panthers.
Timothy Haynes on the stop for the Murphy Panthers. A nice little read by the quarterback, Gio Lopez. He had somebody open in the left flat, but didn't see his running back flaring out because he was focused in the middle of the field. But 2nd down, looks like about 6 yards to go for the James Clemens Jets.
Pittman goes in motion to the top of the screen. Lopez just going to keep that one and scramble. Little RPO action pays off dividends for them. That's a 1st down for the Jets, and the sticks will move again.
Andre Woodard, the linebacker, he's a junior with another stop for the Panthers, and you can see why he's listed as one of my impact players.
Right.
He's already made maybe 3 or 4 plays tonight so far for Telestone's defense, but 1st and 10 for James Clemens from about the 38-yard line.
Hand off to Snodgrass once again. He picks up a couple as the Panthers wrap him up right at the 40-yard line.
I like that redemption on that stop by Michael Johnson. Comes up from his strong safety position and makes a stop for the Panthers along with Timothy Haynes. Now you're in a situation to where if you're the Jets, 2nd down and 7 yards to go for James Clemens.
Reedus goes in motion. Handoff to the back once again with the carry. Dante Snodgrass. And I believe he is right at the line to gain, Corey, and they signal 1st down. Ron Coleman signals 1st down. Another 1st down by Snodgrass.
Anytime your secondary has to make a stop, unless it's on a blitz at the line of scrimmage, that's never a good thing. That means you've already got into the secondary to make the stop. Michael Johnson coming up from his strong safety position.
1st and 10 here for the Jets at their own 48-yard line. Lopez rolling out, buying time, and does connect. I believe that was Pittman hauling it in. Nice catch by Kamari Pittman.
Again, you look at Lopez rolling outside of the pocket, being able to read the defense, knowing that Pittman was going to run the correct route, was able to move the sticks. But that's a great job of Lopez filling the defense, rolling to his right, throwing left-handed, and connecting on that pass.
That's right. 1st down for the Jets, and they are in motion. Nice spin move by Snodgrass. I'm sorry, that's Pittman again. Kamari Pittman back-to-back catches. And we have a penalty on the play.
Not only that, Pittman hit the circle button twice on the Murphy Panthers. Spin this, spin that, but it's going to be a penalty against the Jets that's going to negate that nice catch. Look at the
Probably
circle action. Here's
in the
one
back,
circle
possibly.
button, whoop, a nice little circle button
Here
again,
comes.
whoop, and he's going to make all the defenders miss, and I like that ability by the young man who's playing as a 5'7", 155-pound wide receiver, showing the great hands and the elusiveness that he has for the Jets.
So another illegal man downfield called against the Jets. That's what pushed them back 5 yards. So 1st and 15, ball sitting squarely at the 43-yard line. I'm sorry, the 43-yard line of Murphy. And a flag maybe, if this is encroachment, James Clemens will get the 5 yards back, Corey.
That's normally how it goes. You just have to be disciplined. And
there it is.
You have to watch that football. Don't go on that hard count by Lopez and don't jump. Just stay home because you just had a free 5 yards that created a long down and distance situation on first down. But now James Clemens is able to bounce back, get that yardage back, and first down and 10 now again. The ball right back at the 38-yard line of the Murphy Panthers.
Original line of scrimmage. Pittman in motion. Lopez rolling out to the strong side. Dumps it down. And Corey, our 3rd consecutive flag comes out.
That pass intended for Terrence Cunningham, the senior wide receiver. Incomplete. That's
Hold
something
against
the Jets really
Jets.
have to clean up. But you start looking out there. And again, James Clemens made a 6.5-hour drive. I talked to Coach Chad McGee this morning as they were leaving around 9 a.m. from Huntsville. And for the big fellas, having to wait an extra hour and a half.
Yeah.
And even though it's a slight breeze and we don't have the heat index that we had one night ago, it's still early in the season, and it's hot for those guys with all that equipment, especially for the big fellas at 250, 300-plus pounds.
So it's 1st and 20 here coming up for the Jets. Snodgrass with the carry. Picks up maybe 3 or 4. Murphy dressing out around 70 players tonight. They have 19 seniors, returning only 4 on offense. Those 4 offensive linemen we told you about, and 4 on defense as well. We talked about Coach Rico Jackson going into his 3rd year, Corey. His first year at Media Days, he guaranteed they would make the playoffs, and this year he did the same thing. He said, we're going to the playoffs this year. So he has a lot of expectations set for his Panthers. Handoff once again. That one going to Ballard, Corey, as he picks up a couple. And James Clemens just chipping away, but it's going to be 3rd and long.
Stop by Travell Jackson.
Travell Jackson,
stop.
yeah.
He's a senior defensive end, outside linebacker. We'll take our heat timeout with 5:37 remaining here in the 2nd quarter.
And we will take a break as well. We'll meet you on the other side of that break. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the trainings to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
3rd and long coming up here for the Jets. Gio Lopez hauling off to his tight end and cannot haul it in, Corey. Giovanni Ritas had it but couldn't bring the biscuit into the basket all the way.
Giovanni Ritas, the tight end senior, right down the seam for the James Clemens Jets. The football was on the money by Lopez.
Great
Clean
pass.
pocket. He has an opportunity to throw it left-handed. You want to come away with that. Trying to run before he secured it. Was not a completed pass. Now it's going to bring up 4th down and 15.
That one's kind of on the fence when we looked at that replay, Corey.
Kind
Kind of on the fence. Yeah. No replay here in this ball game. The Panthers don't have the instant replay equipment at Ladd, so Jets in no man's land. They're kind of going to do the little pooch punt right there from Lopez. Kind of repay the favor back to Murphy. Can they down it? And I believe they do at the 1-yard line. Great little pop punt right there from Gio Lopez.
That's exactly what the benefit of having 2 quarterbacks that can also punt the football. You have to be an athlete to punt the football. It's nothing easy because you can easily shank it and cost your team, but you pin the Murphy Panthers deep in their own territory, and I do mean deep from the 1-yard line. We'll see how comfortable that Derek Davis is playing from his own 1-yard line. You don't want to be too conservative right here, but your line up front, Devin Smith, Zykees James, Keenan Davis, Christian Boyd, and Malachi Howard must protect up front to make sure there's no safety on the play for the Jets.
Coach Rico Jackson said the Panthers offense will have an identity of speed and power. He has a wealth of running backs. We've talked about it. He's going to stick with the hot back, but right now they have to get that power exerted. Tyler Thornton, can he get out of the end zone? The ball was across the line. Was his knee down? So they're going to mark him down at the 2 or possibly 3.
That's one of the things that I personally don't like. Anytime you go to the shotgun in the end zone,
I'm with you, Corey.
It is 5 yards deeper.
Oh, that was so close.
It was very close. Able to get out, though. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. If you're going to be in the shotgun, you probably want to get rid of the football a little bit faster because that running back is coming again downhill 5 yards. If they don't get the push up front that I just mentioned, you're going to have that safety. So look for something to roll the quarterback to the outside. Derek Davis having an opportunity to read the field, see what he wants.
I think he's waiting for the timeout to be called by Rico Jackson. Corey, he was standing there waiting like, Coach. We knew what was going on. He just didn't know, Corey. Want to remind you the purpose of the Mobile County Public School System is to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates at Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow. Right now, the James Clemens Jets are leading 11-0 over Murphy here in this 7A battle, Corey. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. This is almost like a mini playoff game. So let's say both of these teams make the tournament. They make the playoffs at the end of the year. Well, Murphy plays in 7A Region 1. They would play a team in 7A Region 2. If James Clemens were to make the playoffs, they're in 7A Region 4. They would play a team in 7A Region 3. So it's a possibility these two teams maybe could meet, say, in the quarterfinals, Corey, or the semis in the playoffs. That's
Absolutely.
what we mean by a mini playoff game tonight.
And when you see someone early, that's what's important. But you know, when you sit and look at this situation now for both of these teams, again, this is a great early test, non-region contest that you want to schedule. A 7A opponent for both of these guys.
Right.
You get a gauge. But here it is, shotgun situation, the ball squarely planted at the 1-yard line of the Panthers.
So they're going to call it no gain. Davis just going to keep it. Takes his time and shuffles his way and picks up a couple, about 6 or 7 on that. Nice play call right there from Rico Jackson and his offensive coordinator, Devin Crawford. Takes the pressure off. It'll be 3rd and short coming up here for the Panthers.
The thing that I love the most is they played to Derek Davis' strength. They rolled him out of the pocket.
Sure did.
When you're in the shotgun, that's exactly what you want to do to give your quarterback the option of throwing it away or making sure he doesn't take that safety. And now they're running the play clock down, shifting formations. And, again, Rico Jackson has 1 timeout remaining if he doesn't get what he would like here in this formation.
10 seconds on the play clock. We're down to 6, then 5. I think they will get the play off. Little quick out to Corey Kelly. Only needs a couple. And I think he is close to the yard. The game was the 12, Corey, or possibly the 11. Let's see. On the far side, it looks like the 11.
If he is a yard short, they're
And
gonna
Ron
move the
Coleman,
chains.
first down. So the chain gang on the move.
You know, Coach Jackson would have had a choice to make right there, but they're going quickly, hurrying up back to the line of scrimmage here with 3:10 remaining in the second quarter, not really giving James Clemens an opportunity to set up that 3-4 defense, shifting personnel, making sure the linebackers all communicate. whether they have to bump the coverage of one another or not.
The bobble snap. Oh, that is an incomplete pass, not a lateral. Corey, that could have spelled disaster for the Panthers right there.
Chad Coulter, the cornerback, 5'9", 160-pound senior, comes up and almost gets a pick six on the play. We have 2:37 remaining here in the second quarter. You take a look at that replay. He times it. He was looking for the hit instead of the interception. If he would have got those hands up, he probably would have walked into the end zone for the Jets. But the clock is still running for some
yeah, that was an incomplete
reason,
pass.
and they're going to have to put more time on the clock.
It wasn't a lateral, Corey. That was an incomplete pass.
No, it was an incomplete pass. They're going to probably have to put 2:28 back on the clock, but they're definitely going to have to put more time on the clock as after the incomplete pass was thrown, the clock continued to
run. They can call up to the game clock operator right there. Coming up at halftime, we're going to be talking to Renee Phillips of the Mobile County Public School System and talk to her about the start of school and how things are going as Ron Coleman is sending up the smoke signals to the press box cord to the game clock operator.
That's hard. 2:28 maybe. I feel that 2:28, when I took a look at the clock still running, that's what should be on the game clock. I think that's probably very effective and fair if you're able to put 2:28 on the clock, or maybe even more than that. But I looked at the clock when it was still running. It was 2:28 remaining on that game clock, and they'll have to reset that again. The officials are in their first game as well.
Want to let you know about Bishop State Community College. Volleyball is coming up. Their first ever women's volleyball team. They're going to host their first game Thursday, August 26th at 5:30 p.m. against the Gadsden State Cardinals. The volleyball team is led by head coach Nicole Keyshock. The game will take place on Bishop State's main campus in the Frederica G. Evans Cultural Center. So congratulations to the Wildcats as they have now started a volleyball program, and I believe we're going to start the clock at 2:34, Corey.
Yeah, a little extra time.
They gave you 6 more seconds. So.
I like that. Second down and 10 yards to go now. 2:34 remaining. You have an open playbook here as the field is wide open with your play calling ability.
Davis rolls back, has lots of time, and overthrows his receiver. Could not get it to him. He was going for Ben Jackson. Jackson kind of gave up on the route a little bit, Corey. But
don't want to see.
But you can't give up on it, but he definitely has some air up underneath it, though.
I like the arm there.
Nice.
But as a wide receiver, if the ball is overthrown and the cornerback makes a play on it, you want to be Johnny on the spot to tackle him immediately and not loaf or lag on that play.
Now, Jackson is a freshman, Corey. He is a freshman, so no football for him last year. There was no middle school ball for COVID last year, so maybe the bright lights got him, Corey.
It is a learning experience,
right?
And we talked about that last night for the LaFleur Rattlers being so young and their learning experience. You'll see that on film, and you won't see him make that mistake again.
Corey Kelly on the run, ducking and dodging, and we have a flag on the play as the Jets defense, they were trying to strip Kelly of that ball. Flag on the far side over there near the 10-yard line. And we had a lot of this last night, Corey, so we're familiar with it. First game jitters, holding against the Panthers, so that will push them back. That's a spot foul. Nice run by Kelly, but they will not be able to receive the dividends from that run. There's Malachi Howard pushing the backer back right there, coming from his right guard position. I'm sorry, right tackle.
You want to go ahead and punt this football away.
So it looks like
if you're not able to get it.
I believe James Clemens may have declined it because it is now 4th down, Corey. The down marker says 4th down. So I think James Clemens declined the penalty. It was like 4th and about 5 yards to go.
Toe to leather is what you're going to have right here for the Murphy Panthers.
Edie Bingy back to his punt, his first punt of the night. A low one as it skips, but he takes his time and he shanks it just like I did at Spring Hill Golf Course this past Sunday. That's a live ball. That was a live ball as the defender of James Clemens. I don't believe he realized it was live, Corey, until he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah,
right.
He did, and you're looking, I think, Jalen Ruffin, the linebacker, who wasn't really used to that pigskin jumping to him, but because it was shanked, you're able to go ahead and
that's live ball.
Look at it. It's a return situation where he does stand out of bounds, step out of bounds. Good recognition by the officials, and I guarantee if the returner in that situation, Jalen Ruffin, would have had that back, he would have loved to stay in bounds and take one to the house. But James Clemens with outstanding field position right here on the 12-yard line of the Panthers.
Up 11-0 over Murphy. And we can all see that.
That's a hard count.
Panthers jumped off sides. So they'll gain 5 yards. 5 yards closer to the end zone. It'll be 1st and 5.
When you have that hard count, it's tough.
Yeah.
In that situation to stay disciplined.
James Clemens has made the playoffs 6 of the last 7 seasons, but they've never advanced past the 2nd round, Corey. Man in motion. Bunch set here for the Jets. Lopez just going to keep it. He has room. He tries to hit the circle button and does a spin move, picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and short. Now the Jets can pick up a 1st down without having to score.
DeJuan Lucky comes up from his cornerback position, and the Jets brought in the Jumbo Jets. That was the Jumbo Jet package that I'm going to call it. Offensive coordinator Clint Woodfin comes in and brings in the Jumbo Jet package again. Quarterback keeper right up the middle.
Right up the gut. That's a touchdown. 4-yard touchdown for Gio Lopez, his 2nd tonight. And the Jets have extended their lead by 6, 17-0 right now.
Yeah, that's a situation to where you have the big uglies up front. Mark Scagliano, Ezekiel Gideon, Ryan Nicholson, Tristan Walker, and Edrin Watson making room for Gio Lopez up front.
That line averages 271 pounds, Corey.
The big uglies up front getting it done
Doing
for
their
James
job.
Clemens.
Rowe on for the extra point. The last time out, the Jets faked it and picked up the 2-point conversion. Kicking into the north end zone here at Ladd Stadium. And he boots that one right through. So it is 18-0. The Jets on top of Murphy. Murphy finished last season 5-5, Corey. They missed the tournament by 1 game, as I said earlier. At Media Days, Coach Jackson said, we're making the playoffs this year.
That's huge, but here's the situation. A 2-play drive set up by a shanked punt makes it easy for the James Clemens Jets to punch it in, and you have that extra point up and good by James Clemens. They extend that lead now, and Murphy has 1:31 remaining with 1 timeout.
1 timeout.
You don't want to go down in the half, turn the football over, because James Clemens has 3 timeouts remaining. They can stop the clock and get the ball back here and work on that 2-minute offense.
And we have seen that offense. It is a well-oiled machine. Gio Lopez wears number 2. I'm not going to say who he reminds me of, and he's left-handed too, Corey, but I'm just going to say the young man's name starts with a T and ends with a T, and I'll leave it right there.
Able to get outside the pocket,
That's right.
Able to be a big fella. The balance so far by James Clemens is one of the things we'll talk about at halftime. The run, the combination of the 2 backs, Ballard and Snodgrass, along with the quarterback Lopez.
Corey Kelly hauls it in at about the 15-yard line, looking for blockers, and he can't find any because they're downfield blocking. Only thing in front of him was James Clemens Jets. And a late flag comes in, Corey.
Caden Samad on the stop. The outside linebacker junior doing a great job. Not a lot of hats being put on the Jets on special teams coverage, which allowed them to cover up the Murphy kickoff team.
Block in the back. Assessed against the Panthers, so that'll push them back a few more yards with 1:24 remaining here in the first half. Don't forget, we'll be talking with Renee Phillips, Mobile County Public School System, Public Relations, and Director of Communications. She's going to talk about the school year so far. Also, Corey just kind of teased it himself. We'll give a little brief recap of the first half and kind of look at that balanced play. You're right, Corey. A lot of running, a lot of passing, little maybe 60-40, 55-45 for the Jets. Very good look for their offense tonight. They're pitching a shutout right now.
That's exactly what you have to have, and now Murphy deep in their own territory again after the penalty.
Just being there, yeah, a little while ago on their previous possession.
Pistol formation.
Nice run from the Panthers right there. Jalen Etney moves over from his wide receiver position to take the handoff from Davis as we approach 1 minute remaining here in the half.
And I think Murphy would be content just to go to the half. James Clemens is going to stop the clock, which is what I thought they would do.
They had three timeouts.
Go
right
to the half with it, but James Clemens had 3 timeouts they had not used yet, looking to possibly get that football back. We've already seen him kick a 32-yard field goal on top of the possibilities that if they make Murphy punt, Murphy just shanked a punt that only traveled less than 15 yards.
Right.
So, and was returned the equal amount of distance. So it's going to be interesting to see what strategy Coach Rico Jackson, he probably wants to run the football here to make James Clemens burn that timeout, but having an opportunity trailing 18-0, Murphy will have a great chance to clean things up at the half and to say, hey, guys, we're beating ourselves right now.
Pretty much. You're right, Corey. Pretty much that's what's happening. They've had opportunities. Had a great pass there completed to Robinson early in the first quarter, punched out, caused the fumble. Had definitely situations where they could capitalize. And, of course, we know the penalties has truly hurt them in the first half so far tonight. So hopefully we can get some headsets on Coach Rico Jackson before he goes into the locker room and talk to him right quick before he talks to his team inside the locker room. 61 seconds remain before halftime. Second and about 8 here for the Panthers. Going back to Etney once again. He stays in bounds, so the clock will run. And James Clemens, I believe, has burned another timeout. They want that ball back, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, Al, coming up at halftime, I'll try to give us some score updates from a delayed Mobile, Baldwin County area tonight. As we're at 9:37 p.m., we had an hour-and-a-half lightning weather delay here, as well as other places in Mobile and Baldwin County. So some places are going to halftime just like we are. Some teams are early in the third quarter. But we'll keep you updated on all the local scores that I have coming through as the night progresses, especially at halftime.
Appreciate that, Corey. Appreciate that. Also, we thank you for your patience and waiting for it. So if you're watching us on one of the many ways, Comcast Channel 15, Mediacom 81, Uverse Channel 99, or if you're streaming it on Facebook or YouTube, especially all the Jets fans up there in Madison, we do appreciate your patience and hanging in there with us tonight to put on this contest and this broadcast. And give a special shout out to my daughter, Evie Savannah, Corey. I had to call in advance and let them know, hey, Daddy's not on TV right now, because, boy, I would get home and she would be up, where were you at? It was 6:50, and I didn't see you on TV. So I had to explain my situation, if you understand where I'm coming from. Because
I understand.
I would have caught the 3rd degree from my 10-year-old tonight, man. 3rd and 5 here coming up for the Panthers. If they can get the first down, that will allow the clock to run, and James Clemens probably will have to eat that last time out because they want the ball back to try to score again. I believe that may be a false start against the Panthers, Corey.
Dead ball penalty, pre-snap penalty before we even get started there.
Right. At the rate Ron Coleman's been calling those false starts the first 2 games, he may have to go do some basketball action next week. It's a lot of traveling calls, Corey.
I tell you what, Ron Coleman is my basketball buddy. And one thing that he has perfected here within the 2-day calling period here at Lad People Stadium is the traveling motion in basketball in the false start procedure penalty against the Panthers, Williamson Lions, and LaFleur Rattlers being our white hat 2 nights in a row. Ron Coleman doing a great job. Kept us updated on game time tonight as well.
Sure did. Panthers running that ball as Tyler Thornton comes back over to offense once again. He's going to be short. And James Clemens has burned that last time out with 31 seconds remaining. I'm sorry, 30. The clock's still running once again, Corey.
Yeah, that's again. They're probably
that's
maybe
about
put
3 or 4 seconds ran off.
If Ron, they're going to talk about that. The head coach of James Clemens asking them to put a couple of more seconds on the clock. Not sure if Ron Coleman's going to give it to him or not. He's not making that move toward
No, he's not.
the 45-yard line to indicate that more time needs to be put on the clock. The back judge has the clock also, and now Ron Coleman's
he's coming this way,
over.
Corey.
Anytime he walks closer to the midfield stripe, that's when he's probably going to signal that we do need more time put on the clock.
There it is.
Makes his way to the 35-yard line. Probably put another 3 or 4 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, he's not pumping up
37.
the crowd. He's pumping up. Got to thank our folks over there at Firehouse Subs for taking care of us with the East tonight. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to Firehouse Subs, Public Safety Foundation, helping to provide life-saving equipment to first responders. So thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman, as they always do, Corey, taking care of us with the East tonight. So make sure you stop by the Greenlight Road location at Firehouse Subs and show them some love as well. 4th and 5, Edie Bingy. No, this is not Edie Bingy. This is Corey Kelly back to punt.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's trouble, Corey, and picked right off of Kelly's foot. Oh, my goodness. On the call right there. Wow, Cam Barnett, Corey. We talked about him in the starting lineup.
And
the concentration to do that.
You know what I love, though?
Wow.
The execution by James Clemens, utilizing their timeouts wisely.
You're right.
Making Murphy pump the football on 4th down. They put themselves in a situation to where they were not able to run out the clock, and because of it, you took the football right off of the foot of Corey Kelly. You score another 6. What a bone breaker for the Murphy Panthers, as the Jets are all throttle here at Ladd Peoples Stadium. As we're close to the airport, the Jets are trying to land at Brookley Field. Al?
You're right about that, and it is up and good. Wow, Corey, you're right about that. We just got word the other day they're looking to move the airport in Mobile to Brookley Field, but James Clemens, they're claiming their own runaway right here tonight at Ladd Peoples Stadium. Cam Barnett picking that right off the toe of Corey Kelly. Wow.
That's something I really have never seen. I've seen a block and the ball be batted down and the ball bounce back up into your hands.
Right.
But actually taking it off the foot of the kicker for Murphy, Corey Kelly, and then scoring 6, 25-0, the Panthers. But again, it goes back down to the coaching execution of Coach Chad McGee.
All 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, Corey.
And getting it done here in the first half.
Thanks to our folks at BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game. Check them out online at bsnsports.com.
You know, Al.
Wow.
That's the first time since my 7 years with you that I've seen someone take the ball off of the foot of the kicker.
I'm with you, Corey. That's my first time as well. And Kelly's touching it again as he brings this one back for the Panthers, crosses the 25-yard line. Corey, I know we have the Career Tech Education Player of the Game, but we may have to come up with an addendum and possibly call that the Player of the Game if nothing else changes tonight.
Wow.
That was amazing.
It really was. That's one that I would put on SportsCenter top 10 to me, because you just don't see someone taking the ball off of the foot of the kicker without the ball bouncing and touching the turf. Again, he caught that cleanly. He went ahead and picked it up, took it to the house, even though he didn't have to go far. It's still a nice play by the Jets, and they're really playing at a mock speed right now.
Ball on the 27-yard line. Kelly once again with the carry. Kind of ducking and dodging there. Picks up maybe 1 yard. And that possibly will be our last play of the first half.
And Al,
Murphy doesn't have to even snap it again, Corey.
You know, if you're James Clemens, you go into halftime and you want to make sure that you're in good situation to where you get your guys refocused. But we're going to go at halftime.
Yeah, Rico Jackson pointing to his team, head to the locker room. I believe we're trying to effort to get him to chat with him about the first half. So we're going to get a chance to speak with Coach Jackson right quick and ask him a question too, Corey. What an offensive output from the James Clemens Jets tonight, very similar to what Williamson did last night against LaFleur, Corey.
Absolutely. I think we were at 31 or 32-0 last night in the Williamson-LaFleur game. But in a situation now, you're at 25-0. Murphy just has to refocus because, again, it's been points off turnovers,
right,
points off penalties. It's been the mental mistakes that we talked about. We'll go back and take a look at my checklist, take a look at the highlights here for the James Clemens Jets. But short field position, and, again, it's been great down and distance and ball control and balance by the James Clemens team so far here in the first half of play. But 25-0 is not an erasable deficit here at Larry Peoples Stadium. You just have to have a couple of plays go in your favor to get your crowd energized, get your team back into it. Just refocusing at halftime, Murphy will be fine.
That's all you have to do. So we're going to be talking with Coach Rico Jackson in a matter of moments. Coach Jackson, Al Whedon, Corley Bounty here. We know the outcome is not what you were probably looking at here in the first half tonight. A lot of opportunities haven't really bounced your way. What do you plan on talking to your kids about when you head to the locker room?
I mean, we just keep shooting ourselves in the foot. That's something that we got to work on about finishing plays and not shooting ourselves in the foot. Our special team's been horrendous, and we just got to get better is the bottom line.
I think it's a situation, Coach, to where you guys have really not been beaten. You just kind of beaten yourselves here in the first half, but I know you're going to tell your team, don't get caught looking at the scoreboard. How do you kill an elephant one bite at a time? I think your team has the explosiveness ability to get right back into this contest in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we got to take one play at a time, one drive at a time. We got a lot of stuff to go correct in about 15 minutes. So, all we can do is keep fighting. That's what we're going to do. That's what we know how to do.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. We do appreciate you taking our time to speak with us. All right, Corey, we're going to come back and talk about the first half recap. Also, we'll talk to Renee Phillips as well, see how the school year is going so far for the Mobile County Public School System. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College.
It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register at signatureacademyshowcase.vfairs.com. Representatives from all 12 high schools will be on hand to talk about our academies. This event is open to all 7th and 8th graders and their parents. So register today and have your questions answered regarding your child's transition into high school and into a life-changing career path. It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
It's halftime here at Lad People's Memorial Stadium. James Clemens on top of Murphy, 25-0. And joining us down on the sidelines, we have the Director of Communications for the Mobile County Public School Systems, Miss Renee Phillips. How you doing, Renee?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I am much drier than I was about 2 hours ago, Renee.
It's just a little sprinkle down here. It's pretty pleasant, actually, right now.
Well, you know, we had to welcome the Jets only the way we can in Mobile. Stick around. The weather will change on you in a heartbeat. So we brought them some rain tonight. So school has started. We're about a week and a half into school. How's it going so far, Renee?
Well, so far, in spite of everything crazy going on in our world, it's been great. We are doing the teaching and learning. I was in schools the first day of school, and there was something special about when those kids walked in the door for the in-person learning. The teachers welcomed them. They were all really excited to get in there and to start their learning and be with their friends and to meet their new teachers and get going for the year.
Well, obviously, we know the $64,000 question and answer. One of the main thing on people's minds this year is COVID-19. So what is the district doing to try to keep students safe? And also, what can parents do as well, Renee?
That's right. So we want our students to stay in school as long as possible. They need that sense of normalcy. They need that face-to-face instruction. So we all have to do our parts. For the school's parts, we're requiring the masks. We're social distancing as best as we can. We are washing our hands, cleaning up. We've hired extra nurses, and we're just trying to do the best that we can do to keep our students and our employees safe. As far as parents go, encourage your children to wear the masks. And also, if your child is sick, keep them home. That's the main thing we can do. And if you get a letter saying that your student has been exposed and needs to isolate, follow that letter because we're just doing the best we can. We're following CDC guidance because we want our children to stay in school.
Talking with Renee Phillips, the Director of Communications here with the Mobile County Public School System. Now, I have twins, and they are enrolled at a school in the Mobile County Public School System. I'm not going to say that particular school, but I'm just going to say go Jaguars. But I've heard about this one-on-one device initiative in the Mobile County Public School System. My kids came home with a letter the other day, and I had to sign it. Are all students getting a laptop, Renee? What's the answer?
That's right. So this is a long-time dream come true. We are becoming a one-to-one district this year.
Okay.
That means every student will get a Chromebook. So that form, you need to sign it, turn it in. We're in the process of distributing those devices to our students right now. That's not going to replace our traditional teaching and learning that takes place. It's going to enhance it. It's going to make it better.
All right.
We're preparing our 21st century learners to be communicators, collaborators, and critical thinkers.
All right, Renee, I do appreciate you stopping by. Before you go, is there anything else you want to add to let parents know about what's going on with Mobile County Public Schools?
I think the main thing is let's just support our students this year. It's been a interesting last year and a half or so.
Yes,
and
it
so
has.
we just want to support them academically and support them in every way that we can. And just as if anything changes, we'll let everybody know. Follow our Facebook page, keep up with our website, and we're just going to make this the best year possible.
All right, Renee, we've kept you up long enough. You're free. You're off the hook. You can go now.
Oh, I'm loving the rain. It's fine.
We do appreciate you stopping by. Renee Phillips, Director of Communications here with the Mobile County Public School System. Don't move. We're going to come back. Corey and myself will talk about first half instances and great things. Also, give you some updates on some scores on the other games that are possibly still taking place here in the Mobile, Baldwin County area. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
So, Nicholas, how was your day at school today?
It was great. We had fun in class today.
So, what did you do differently today at school? I mean, any new projects?
We got a progress report today.
You got your progress reports today? So, how did you do?
Don't know.
You don't know. That's okay. We can check that right here. Wow. Nicholas.
When parents are involved in school, you get more of this
and less of this.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the trainings to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
We welcome you back to Lad Peebles Memorial Stadium. It is halftime. James Clemens on top 25-0. And Corey, quite an interesting first half the James Clemens Jets put up. Matter of fact, we're going to get some stats up and take a look at what they did. Their offensive output was something else, and they were able to capitalize on some mistakes that Murphy made as well.
I think that's the biggest thing, Al, that they were able to capitalize. And, you know, when we go back and take a look in a moment about my checklist, you'll see that it was dead on from a coaching standpoint about communicating with this team and with myself what they needed to do. And these BSN halftime stats, Murphy with only 30 rushing yards. You look at James Clemens with 84 passing yards. Murphy with 57. One of those were explosive, and then a turnover was created.
Correct.
James Clemens being balanced with 86 yards passing, 84 yards rushing, 170 yards by James Clemens. Only 87 total for Murphy. 3 turnovers. That's the difference in the first half.
That is.
Points off turnovers as well is huge. The penalties, 6 for 50 for James Clemens, 5 for 33 for Murphy. Our score 25-0 here at the half here at Lad Peebles Stadium. But like Coach Rico Jackson talked about, with an abbreviated halftime, it's going to be learning on the fly. And in a situation where you're trying to ground these Jets, you need to find a way to make them go 3 and out. And you look at this situation where I think this was the first turnover. Nice catch by Greg Robinson and then punched out by the defender for James Clemens, Keenan Hill. That led to a turnover. And you're looking at Gio Lopez,
look at him,
the quarterback, going again, running it to the house himself, getting great and outstanding blocking down the field for his wide receiver for a touchdown. Here's a nice 2-point conversion.
That was nice.
Run by James Clemens as the holder tucks it, dives for the pylon, gets 2 extra points for James Clemens. And here's a nice kickoff by the Jets that was returned by the Panthers that did not lead to any points, but you're looking at Corey Kelly on the return trying to make something happen, and in clock management, that was probably the most explosive play for Murphy in the first half on that kickoff return. And here's the big quarterback, Gio Lopez, bulling his way into the end zone, another touchdown for James Clemens. And here's that punt that I'm talking about.
Oh, look
Corey
at him.
Kelly's foot, he just catches it, and the biscuit goes directly into the basket for number 16, Cameron Barnett. Scoring points for the Jets. And here we are at halftime, Al. 25-0 our score. But the Panthers have an opportunity to go ahead and get something positive going here in the second half. It's only 25-0.
Yeah.
You cannot give up. The adjustments are going to be made.
Let's take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association preseason polls. We'll get those up right now and let you take a peek at them. We're going to start in 7A, 2-time defending 7A champs Thompson. They're opening the season on top again with their last 3 playoff opponents. Right behind them, Hoover at 2, Auburn at 3, and Hewitt-Trussville at 4. Theodore slots in at number 6, Corey. They're playing Saraland tonight. I know you're going to get us a score later on. The Bobcats' highest preseason ranking in 21 years, and the Daphne Trojans, they received their first ever 7A preseason ranking coming in at number 7. And the James Clemens Jets, Corey, up 25-0 right now. Preseason ranked at number 9 in the state. Let's bump it on down to 6A and take a look at those preseason rankings. The 2 teams that met in last year's Super 7 final are 1-2 again. 6A champs Pinson Valley claims the top spot with the Spanish Fort Toros on their heels at number 2. They beat Fairhope last night on the hill, so they picked up their first victory of the season. And the Yellow Jackets of McGill entered the season in the number 7 spot. And Saraland, surprisingly, Corey, outside of the preseason top 10 for the second year in a row.
Yeah, that is motivation for the Saraland Spartans as They were supposed to take on the Theodore Bobcats tonight, and after the polls is over, I'll try to give us a little update on our local scores.
Okay, let's take it down to 5A. Defending champs St. Paul's, they start the season where they finished last year in the #1 spot, and behind them receiving their highest ever poll ranking, the Faith Academy Rams are at 2. UMS Wright slots in at #8. They're visiting Baker tonight on Baker's campus. The last time the Bulldogs started this low in the preseason poll was back in 2011 when they also ranked #8. And lastly, the 4A poll, the defending champs Hanley are ranked #2, 1 spot behind the team they beat for last year's title, Gordo. Region 1 champs Williamson, they came in mid-pack at #5, and they showed out last night, Corey, against LaFleur, pitching a shutout and the most lopsided victory they've ever had over LaFleur in the history of that contest.
Really look forward to seeing what Williamson's made of next week as they take on Faith Academy.
That's right. And coming up, followed by two other area teams at #8, Mobile Christian, and at 9, we'll get a look at the Viger Wolves tomorrow as they play host to the Blunt Leopards right here at Lab People Stadium. On the outside looking in, you got the Jackson Aggies right there picking up 18 votes. So we're moments away from the second half, third quarter kickoff headed your way. Don't move. We'll meet you on the other side of the break. This is the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
Hello, I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS Athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty, as we are moments away from the second half kickoff coming from Aaron Rowe. And Corey, I'm so glad I can say we had an abbreviated halftime tonight, and we are having a few showers creep back in here to Lab People Stadium.
We are, and here's some shower scores for you. Last night here at Lab People Stadium, Williamson defeats LaFleur 53-0. In the fourth quarter, Faith Academy leads Andalusia 20-14. Alma Bryant, the Hurricanes leading BC Rain 22-0. Chickasaw leading Satsuma 25-17. Also here, again, you're looking at Gulf Shores leading Alberta 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Theodore leading Saraland 28-14. You're looking at Baker blanking UMS Wright 13-0 in the fourth quarter. Foley beating Robertsdale 14-12. Pike Road beating McGill-Tulin 14-7. Baldwin County and MGM are at 0-0. McAdory has defeated St. Paul's 21-7.
McGill had to travel to Pike Road, didn't they?
They were here at the
Lip.
Lip.
They were here? They were at the Lip? Okay. Nice carry right there by the Panthers, on the move for them, getting some great yardage on the carry. Fernando Brown. Nice carry. First play of the third quarter and second half, and that's a first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, that's the type of momentum that you want to have. They weren't able to push the line in the first half, but you bring in a new back who's able to be fresh. Fernando Brown carrying the Jets on his back. 1st and 10 Panthers.
Ball at the 39-yard line. Handoff once again to Brown as he comes around on the jet sweep. Picks up about 6 on that one. Last year, James Clemens finished the season 8-3, lost in the first round of the playoffs to Hewitt Trussville. Now they have new coach Chad McGee at the helm. And Corey, so far looking good for his first half of his official game this season.
Absolutely. Somebody else who looked good last night, you mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, Spanish Fort defeating Fairhope 21-10. One game was postponed until tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Escambia County and Bayside are going to play tomorrow morning. One of the games that was canceled due to a tragic death of one of Robert E. Lee's players, Daphne and Robert E. Lee, was canceled. And, of course, tomorrow, the mecca of high school football, Blunt versus Viger here at Lab People Stadium, being broadcast on the MCPSS television network with a special kickoff time of 5 o'clock p.m.
And, Corey, I'm going to ask you to talk to the weather guys to make sure we have clear weather tomorrow.
Amen.
This temperature feels great right now, but I don't expect it to be that way at 4:50 tomorrow when we go on the air. So.
Absolutely. We talked about the balance in the first half by this James Clemens offense and Gio Lopez. He was 9 out of 14 for 86 yards. And on the other hand, you look at Derek Davis, the quarterback for Murphy. He was 5 out of 8 for 57 yards, which was very efficient. But at the same time, the poor field position set up by a shank punt and also the penalty yardage gave James Clemens the life that they needed. But Murphy answers the second half right here. The ball is on their own 27-yard line.
Backed up after that penalty. Second and about 17 here for the Panthers. Davis looking to connect with the receiver. Gets it out to Robinson, threw it behind him. Incomplete.
Very dangerous.
Third and long coming up here for the Panthers. Critical play call right here. We have seen that the best punt they've had tonight came from Derek Davis in the first quarter. They brought in Edie Bingy. He shanked it. And then they came with Corey Kelly. And the Jets picked that one off his toe and walked it in for 6 points. So critical call right here for Coach Rico Jackson and his offensive coordinator, Devin Crawford.
You want to be able to move the sticks, but you're at third and long.
Right.
You want to get half of this yardage back, not have a turnover if you're the Panthers.
Got to be careful with that handoff there. Going back to Brown once again. So they bring Fernando Brown in for this series. Feed it to him a couple of times.
Nice initial hit, not able to wrap up on the play for James Clemens, Chris Kang, but he was able to make sure that Murphy wasn't able to get the first down.
Fourth down here for the Panthers. Let's see what they're going to do. Will they let Davis punt it, or they're going to put Corey Kelly back? Hopefully the young man's not gun shy. Corey, after that last one, was picked off of his toe. Looks like Pittman setting up at his 40-yard line for the punt. Nice snap. No, that's Tyreek Walker back there for the Jets. And it gets a good clean punt, so the Panthers are going to down that at about the 29-yard line. We have an injured Panther down on the field on the near side here near their bench. I believe that's number 18 for them. He's going to be able to work himself. Travell Jackson, Corey, he's going to come off the field limping there just slightly. And here comes the James Clemens Jets, their first time touching the ball in the second half. Great first half they put together. Gio Lopez, 2 touchdowns himself. You can call him, Corey, literally untouched as he went into the end zone both times. So 1st and 10, ball on the 29-yard line. Hand off to Snodgrass. He's been running well tonight for the Jets. Picks up 2 or 3, so we'll call it 2nd and 7 coming up here for Clemens.
But again, I love the way these players are able to hit those spin moves, because you have to do it under and with great balance, under control, because you never know when that weak side defender is going to come and draw that ball loose or hit that bone-crushing hit. But great job by Snodgrass.
That pass is complete. Finally got one to Kobe Johnson, Corey. He's been trying to catch up with him all night, and Johnson hauls it in.
You're absolutely right. We've seen him throw him the football a few times and him not be able to come away with it. But that one, he made sure he secured and got positive yardage.
It was on the
for
money,
James
too.
Clemens. It really was.
James Clemens inside of Murphy territory, ball at the 47-yard line. This is going to be a keeper by Lopez. It may be coming back. A flag was thrown here on the near side, near the Murphy Panthers sideline. So that was going to come back, call against the Jets there. Going to cost them 5 yards, Corey.
Yeah, unfortunate
False
penalty.
start. Yep.
But if you're Chad McGee, what you're happy with is the way that your team has come out here offensively and defensively to start the second half of action. Is you want to be a ground and pound ball control type team here in the second half of action, because again, you're leading 25-0. You don't have to throw the ball really at all to continue to run down the play clock and the game clock and waste as much time as you need and try to get Murphy in a bad position defensively also.
Snodgrass on that previous carry. They go right back to him. This time the Panthers collapse on him right at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to set up 3rd down and long coming up here for the Jets.
Devon Smith, the big defensive end, comes up and makes the stop for the Murphy Panthers.
Here's that replay right there.
Snodgrass on the carry.
Met him right at the line.
That's exactly what you want to put them, the Jets, in a long down 3rd and 9, down and distance situation.
I know the Panthers fans aren't excited, but this is a big play right here. Crucial. They could get the ball back if they can get a stop. Lopez once again connected with Johnson. He's going to be short, but a flag came out as well, so I don't know if he was pushing off or if that was PI on the defender. We're waiting for the call here from Ron Coleman and the crew.
Gonna walk that one off.
So that's going to be against James Clemens, Corey.
It was already 3rd down and 9.
They were short of the line to gain, but I believe Coach Jackson is going to accept this penalty and make it 3rd and long here coming up, because we've seen that explosiveness of Lopez where he could just kind of spread everyone out, do a little RPO and get the 1st down. They were about 2 yards short of the line to gain, which is the 38 of Murphy, as the drizzles continue here at Ladd People Stadium. So it's 3rd and long for the Jets. Little screen they're setting up to Snodgrass. If he gets the blockers, he can get the 1st down. One guy to beat, cannot beat him just past the 45-yard line. So the Jets are short. They're in no man's land, Corey. I expect them to probably go for this.
I mean, you don't have anything to lose besides flipping the field. Because it's such a short yardage situation on 4th down, and I say short yardage, you can go with the quick kick also, because we've seen the quarterback Lopez do that earlier, but the formation that he's in, I don't look for him to quick kick it at all.
No one back for the Panthers. They may try to drain it. Some of the Panthers fans are going to take it underneath to the concourse. Got to thank the fans for coming out. There's a quick kick right there, Corey. And I believe it's going to bounce into the end zone. Not enough backspin. That's something I work on over at Spring Hill College, trying to get that ball to backspin on the green. So Clemens, they decide to just punt it, and Murphy will have their 2nd possession of the second half. Talked to Coach McGee as we were getting ready for the ball game and asked him why did he decide to accept the job here at James Clemens. Said he's been very impressed with the program. Played against him a couple years ago in the quarterfinals when he was a defense coordinator at Hoover, and he said it is a program where he can step right in and be successful, Corey. Great move for his family, his 2 sons. The area, the academics really made that job attractive. So I'm sure he is very excited to be James Clemens right now.
Absolutely. Again, anytime you have a first-year coach with guys who buy in, to what they're doing, that's always impressive, and that's exactly what has happened so far in this program.
First and 10 for the Panthers. Trying to get that ball out and cannot connect with his receiver. And I believe that receiver is stretching right now. Maybe some cramps. I believe Greg Robinson, Corey, stretching those legs out. Take a look at the Panthers schedule for this season. They're going to be taking on Foley. They'll host them next week. They're right into region play, Corey. Foley, Davidson, MGM, Theodore. Then they'll play out of region. We know what that is. That's the Battle of the Cannon right here at Ladd Stadium up against McGill. So Panthers, very tough region here, 7A Region 1, as we call it, big boy football. There's their schedule here for the remaining of the year. They're taking a look at Robinson right there at about the 27-yard line as the drizzles increase, now turning into some serious rain here, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation to where if you're James Clemens, all you have to do is just continue to ground and pound.
That's right.
With Ballard and Snodgrass.
And here's a look at the James Clemens Jets schedule for the rest of the year. Up against Athens, also going to be hosting at Bob Jones. They'll be hosting Athens and Austin at Huntsville. So very tough region they have as well. 7A Region 4 is where they play at and looking to make the playoffs again. But what they want to do is get past the quarterfinals. Can't not get past that second round for whatever reason. So Coach Chad McGee, he wants to be successful and continue to have this program move in a positive direction. I believe Robinson is up now as they're trying to escort him off the field. Corey, I think that may be Corey Kelly, actually. It looks like an 8.
It is.
Yeah, that's not a 9. That's an 8. That's Corey Kelly. We've been calling his name a lot tonight. Make sure you join us tomorrow. We're coming back to Ladd Peoples Memorial Stadium. Hopefully we won't bring that rain with us. We talked about it, Corey. Blunt versus Viger. We like to call it our local version of the Iron Bowl or the granddaddy of them all right here. It's going to be at Ladd Peoples Stadium. We'll go live at 4:50, so make sure you join us. And it is going to be a nice one tomorrow. I just want that weather to cooperate with us, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, you're already at a 5 o'clock kickoff, but if we can have the rain hold off like we did last night, we'll be just fine.
Davis unloads, incomplete, could not connect with Jalen Etney. Great job by the defender to punch that out as well.
Jamal Mayers, the young man who was an all-state player for the James Clemens defense 1 year ago. 5'10", 150-pound junior. You mentioned the ability to have pick sixes coming into this season. 1 year ago, was able to knock that ball away. 7:17 remaining here with the Panthers trailing 25-0. James Clemens putting a down and distance situation in front of Murphy. It's 3rd and 10, and with the rain, you know, you play with a slick ball and you're used to practicing in the rain, but it's harder when you're trailing 25-0 to complete those passes.
Because you need points to get back into the ball game, but you want to control. On the run right there for the Panthers. Great run. Fernando Brown once again. That's going to be a first down for the Panthers.
Big time first down. You're not able to throw the ball, but you're able to use the young, fresh legs of this young man, Fernando Brown, who didn't tote the pigskin in the first half.
Did not.
But he's definitely toting it here in the second half, helping Murphy trying to gain critical field position as they are able to gain the first down. 1st and 10 now from the 34-yard line of the Panthers.
Hand off to Brown once again. He's going to reverse field, looking for a block. Can Davis throw one for him? Could not. Picked up maybe 3 or 4 there as the rain is increasing here at Ladd Peoples Memorial Stadium. Going to be 2nd down and about 6 coming up here for Murphy.
One of the things that's great about Ladd Peoples Stadium is the artificial turf.
You're right.
Because there are other schools across Mobile and Baldwin County who played in a mud bowl. And it's hard to go ahead and get your field ready for the next week or for practice the next day or the next week because of the conditions, of the sloppy conditions. But here, we're just on this nice artificial turf, and these guys are playing through these rainy conditions.
Brown credited with 5 yards on that previous carry, picks up 2 or 3 right there, so it's going to be 3rd and short. The Panthers in front of the chains right here. And Brown is going to check himself out, Corey.
That's not
comes to the sideline there.
That's
takes
not
his
the
helmet
first
off.
time tonight, because he was a little slow earlier getting up, but the Panthers.
And now we have our heat timeout, I believe. Dead ball under 5 minutes, but the clock is still moving, so it appears as if maybe Ron Coleman wants the heat timeout. So we are stopped. So let's get on our Brain Buster here, Corey. Get our Brain Buster question up. Game of the week, Brain Buster. At the heat timeout right here. So let's take a look here. All right, Corey. Since the formation of Class 7A in 2014, the Murphy Panthers are 0-4 in the playoffs. What is their overall win-loss record in those 7 years?
Come on, Al.
It is not multiple choice, Corey. But I'll give you a hint. It's very, very close to an obvious answer. But just think about it, you know. I may allow you to phone a friend, Corey. I may allow you to phone. It is raining. So you could phone a friend if you need to, Corey. But, you know, Class 7A has only been around 7 years. So as they say, don't overthink it. Look at it like that. Nice carry right there by, thought that was Corey Kelly. No, Travell Jackson has moved over to offense, Corey.
Yeah, that's something that you have to see from the Murphy Panthers. And Travell Jackson, the senior defensive end, outside linebacker, running back by committee now.
Yeah, pretty much.
The big fellas, the bigger backs are now in the game for the Panthers.
1st and 10. Tyler Thornton just bruising his way to about 7 to 8 yards on the ground game. We said at the start of the telecast, Coach Rico Jackson had a claw of Panthers to pull from to run the ball tonight. So we're having to pull out our entire roster to see who they're putting back in and taking back out, Corey.
Big time right here, but the thing about it is you're grounding up the clock during this nice drive. You're able to get positive yards, which is what you want, but clock is not your ally at this point in time.
And Murphy going to some, if you want to call it some old school power I formation here, Corey. Quarterback under the center, and that is intercepted by the James Clemens Jets as Davis just threw that one up. Coming down with that interception. Keenan Hill, you talked about him in the first half, Corey.
Yeah, he's been active and a young man. He punched the football out earlier and now comes away with the interception. But you've been able to run. It's a little step, a little wobbly pass that
couldn't
it was
get
a
enough
jump
on it.
ball. Greg Robinson could not get on the underneath of that as the defender was on the underneath of it. But you would have liked to kind of have led the receiver a little bit further. But the ball was wobbly, possibly because of the rain and how wet it was.
Correct. Probably from the grip with Davis letting it go there. So Gio Lopez leads the Jets back onto the field. Up 25 points here at 3:53 remaining in the third quarter. Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty, statisticians China Powell and Matt Moore doing a great job tonight helping us out. Executive producer Quentin Howard and Wade Ford in the truck. Incomplete. Be 2nd down and 10 coming up here for the Jets.
More importantly, Al, that is the 4th turnover tonight by the Murphy Panthers. And in the first half, James Clemens was able to capitalize and get points off of those turnovers. Here with 3:46 remaining in the third quarter, it'll be interesting to see if James Clemens decides to go ahead and run the football, get us out of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, or whether they decide to go ahead and continue to throw it.
Don't know if a timeout was called before that play. I don't see any flags on the field. And China Powell points it out, and I have my glasses on. I can't see anything. It's right in front of me. But I think it was all the yellow from the uniforms. The Panthers
Right.
were blocking the yellow. So offsides against Murphy, that'll cost them 5 yards. It'll move the Jets 5 yards closer. So it'll be 2nd and 5 coming up here for James Clemens. Ball on the 38-yard line. Little misdirection. And the Panthers, they don't fall for it. They wrap up the back right there at the line of scrimmage. I believe Snodgrass was on the carry right there. He goes nowhere, Corey. So it's 3rd and 5 coming up here for the Jets. As we approach 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lopez rolls out to a strong side. Snodgrass wide open, couldn't get it completed, and he is brought down. So the Panthers defense holds right there, brings up 4th down.
Little bit surprised that James Clemens elected to throw that
I am
football
surprised there, Corey. I
on
am.
3rd down and 4 yards to go, but it does stop the clock, puts them in a situation to where they possibly have to punt the football at their own 39-yard line.
Jalen Etney going back to receive this punt from Aaron Rowe. Once again, want to thank all the fans for tuning in tonight and being patient with us, especially those up there in Madison County watching their James Clemens Jets tonight. Rowe gets off a nice punt. Great hang time there. As all the Panthers stay away from it. Very smart move there. So nice roll for the Jets. Late start, mini term 2 registration will go on at Bishop State for the fall semester, and it is underway, but there's still room for you to join the Wildcat family. Join them for the late start term, which starts after Labor Day and ends before Thanksgiving, or you can join them for the mini term 2, which begins in October. Either way, the time to register is now, so visit their website, bishop.edu, or stop by and let them help you get your great Bishop State start. 2:46 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. We will reveal the answer to the game of the week brainbuster in between the 3rd and 4th quarter. Corey, I see you didn't phone a friend, right?
I did not phone a friend on that question, Al.
And as our buddy Rico Jackson calls a timeout, Corey. I'm not surprised at all.
No. I mean, again, he does not like to go to the house on Carlin Street with those timeouts, and he uses them judiciously throughout the football game. But 2:46 remaining, no change since our halftime score. It's been kind of a stalemate here in the 3rd quarter. Well, be interested to see in the 4th quarter, now that the rain has begun to lighten up a little bit after that 3rd quarter of some heavy showers, whether Murphy will successfully be able to throw the football, because going deep into the 4th quarter, as the further we get into the 4th quarter, you're not going to be able to run the football because the clock, again, is not your friend.
All right, we're going to resume play here after that timeout. No surprise, Coach Jackson, you said he'll burn those timeouts. Doesn't make him a difference at all. Ball placed at the 14-yard line. Hand off to Brown once again. They're still giving him the rock, Corey. He's just trying to weave his way to pick up some yards. He zigs and zags for about 2. We'll call it 2nd and 8 here at Ladd.
Positive yardage nonetheless, but the clock continues to run. Brings up, looks like maybe a 3rd down.
No, just second
down and 8 yards to go.
Timeout threw you off, Corey. That was actually 1st down right there. So 2nd down here coming up. Ladd calling it 2nd and 8. We'll go with that. Panthers substituting here. 10 seconds on the play clock as Coach Rico Jackson signals in the play. We're at 2-1. They get the snap off. Davis has room. Got time, and he's trying to connect with his receiver way downfield, and he does.
Jadrian Hardy.
Jadrian Hardy hauls it in. Completed. Jazarian Hardy. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Corey. I forgot the Z there, buddy.
That's a huge catch, and that's
Wow.
how you bring down not necessarily a Hail Mary. Derek Davis does a good job of throwing that across his body, but way to go and high point the football, young man.
And hold on to it.
The halfback came down with the most explosive play here of the second half of action for the Panthers.
And I believe that may
giving
be
them a
the
little
most
jolt.
explosive play for them all night, Corey.
It is, besides
Wow.
the one that they had that was punched out from behind early by
Correct.
Greg Robinson. That is the most explosive play the Panthers have had.
All on the 48-yard line. Fernando Brown picking his spot, picks up 3 or 4. He's a very shifty kind of runner, kind of runs on a zigzag pattern there, Corey.
Yeah, I like his ability to cut back, but it's a young man who was fresh in the second half, gaining positive yardage as Murphy, again, goes to the air. I mentioned the rain is on a slight drizzle, allowing them to
drizzle's
throw
back,
that
right.
football and connect, and that's a big-time play and a big-time call by the Murphy offense 2 plays ago.
Ball at the 40-yard line. We're under 1 minute here in the third quarter. Davis trying to connect once again and overthrows his receiver, Jalen Edney. Maybe that was a miscommunication. Maybe that was a stop-and-go route, and Edney stopped, Corey.
Nobody home, but at
Nobody
least
home.
it was not intercepted. It does stop the clock. But you can take that type of shot
Right.
on second down and short. Now you're at third down and 5 yards to go for the Panthers. The ball on the Jets' 40-yard line. And if you look at what the Panthers are trying to accomplish right here, they're definitely in 4-down territory, trailing 25-0 with 46 seconds remaining here in the third
Oh,
quarter.
yeah, pretty much in no man's land. So if they don't pick up the first down here, I expect them to go for it. Giving it back to Brown, and he is going backwards. The Jets turn on the afterburners and push him back to the midfield stripe. So that's a significant loss for the Panthers. Decision time here coming up for Coach Rico Jackson. Will he go for it or will he punt it?
That was an outstanding job of shooting the gap in that situation.
About
it
a
looked like
1
it was
second.
Camden Wells.
Sorry about that, Corey. About a 1 second differential between the game clock and the play clock. And from what I can gather, Murphy will not have to snap the ball.
It was either Jacob Durham or Camden Wells shooting the gap there. Great job of finding a way to produce negative yards. And that will be the last play of the third quarter.
So Coach Rico Jackson telling his senior quarterback, don't snap it, young man. All right, Corey, let's reveal this answer for you here at the Game of the Week Brain Buster. Let's put the question back up. You didn't decide to phone a friend, so maybe just reach into your inner recesses of the brain. Since the formation of Class 7A in 2014, the Murphy Panthers are 0-4 in the playoffs. But what is their overall win-loss record in those 7 years, Corey?
That's that Jeopardy when you run out of time.
I don't think Air's gonna stop the music for you.
You know, their win-loss record since 2014.
Since 2014.
I would say they have at least 6, 12, 8, 12, 30. They have at least 30 wins.
Oh, okay. Let's reveal the answer. The Panthers are 37-37, Corey.
Wow, right at 500. I knew they had at least 30 wins.
That was a very good guess, young man.
At least I was in the ballpark.
You were in the
that,
ballpark.
That had to be an accurate number, and that was I would have liked. Now that one should have been multiple choice because you have to know exact and precise numbers in that situation. That one should have been multiple choice. I think I could have had a great multiple guess on that one.
You want to appeal to the judges, Corey?
Exactly.
Little quick punt right there by Davis. Very smart move. And they get the ball down to about the 12 or the 13-yard line.
And again, Al, you know, you made a phone call a couple of weeks ago to head coach Chad McGee of James Clemens, and he was very accommodating. Make sure with them traveling all the way down here, knowing that they were going to have viewership and people listening in Madison, Alabama, in Harvest, Alabama, in Huntsville, Alabama, in North Alabama in general, wanting to know how 7A football was going to wind up here at Lab People Stadium. He did a great job of getting us our rosters, making sure that we had all our graphics correct, and making sure we were giving all the correct praises to the correct amount of kids on their roster. And thank you again, Coach McGee. Sorry that you had to come down here to Mobile, Alabama and experience an hour-and-a-half rain delay.
Right.
But again, want to thank them and wish them safe travels going back to Huntsville and a successful rest of the 7A season as well.
Absolutely. Got a chance to meet their principal, Dr. Clayton. He was down on the sideline, and he was ready to play like he's ready to get in the game, Corey. So he was very glad those showers allowed these two teams an opportunity to play. So neither one of them wanted to go home, you know, with a cancellation or forfeit or something like that. So we do appreciate all the help they gave us in preparing for tonight's broadcast.
Look at this situation. It's a double reverse, and you go to Kamari Pittman, the wide receiver who comes around the end. He's able to turn the corner. If you're able to turn the corner, he's knocked out of bounds and takes a nice, tough tumble on top of his head, but does get enough for that first down. 1st and 10 for the James Clemens Jets from the 40-yard line, from their own 40-yard line, and I do believe we're going to have a timeout called by James Clemens.
James Clemens calls timeout right there here at the 11:14 mark of the 4th quarter. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and bring you more action on the other side. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Todd.
And I'm Terry, and we'd like to invite you to join us as we take a look at nature in ways that you've never seen before.
Come travel with us as we go coast to coast to uncover some of the most interesting animals.
And some of the most beautiful scenery that's offered outdoors.
You can join us on our nature adventures right here on the MCPSS TV network.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
1st and 10 for the Jets. Gio Lopez trying to connect with Kobe Johnson. And there's one flag, Corey, and we know what that call is going to be.
That's an easy call, easy 15-yard penalty. But you go for that shot on 1st down. You feel you have the mismatch of the wide receiver that you want, and I'm not quite sure he would have caught that football anyway. But nonetheless, it is going to be a pass interference called against the Murphy Panthers, and it's going to lead to another 1st down for the Jets of James Clemens. I tell you what, we just spoke great about Chad McGee. Rico Jackson, always accessible as well.
Top notch, man.
And
top notch.
He always is willing to sit down with you, give you great insight. So can't go away from this broadcast without thanking him as well for the outstanding communication and accessibility that he gives us to his program also.
And off the ballot as he picks up a couple there for the Jets. Also, Corey, they're not in our school system or nearby, but we know it's a high school just up the road, Greenville High School. Want to give them a shout-out. When I talked to Coach McGee this afternoon on the road, they had just finished having lunch over at Greenville High School. So thank them for accommodating the Jets and allowing them to come down and make the trip, and
that's what you
provide
want.
them with lunch today.
Being able to have that walkthrough almost halfway to Mobile, and if you have relationships, that's easy to do. But Gio Lopez has a great hard count that has probably drawn Murphy offsides 3 times tonight with that hard count. And that's something that, you know, Murphy has to really work on and have that eye discipline at the line of scrimmage. Don't move until you see the ball snapped. Don't go on that voice infliction by Gio Lopez. But that's a great job by the quarterback, either clapping his hands together or going with that verbal hard count, drawing the Panthers off sides.
So it'll be 2nd and about 2 here coming up for the Jets. Lopez hauling it off. And that pass is complete to Tyreek Walker as he brings it down at the 3-yard line. Beautiful pass from Gio Lopez, Corey.
Pitch and catch. Is I'm not sure if he had a free release off the line of scrimmage. We'll take a look at it from our vantage point. And yes, nobody touched him at the line of scrimmage. He had just a clear path of running free. The free safety was laid over the top.
And beat
First
Lucky.
and goal.
Yeah, beat Lucky, the cornerback, as well.
Lopez.
He was looking at jersey numbers, Corey.
Yeah, he was.
Dante Snodgrass into the end zone. A 3-yard touchdown as the Jets extend their lead to 31-0 over Murphy.
Early in the fourth quarter, 31-0 our new score, but that was set up by the nice pass from Lopez to Walker. And the rest leads to an easy touchdown by Snodgrass, as our new score is about to be, if this extra point is made, 32-0 in favor of James Clemens. And what's remarkable to me here, Al, is the fact that after the score is 32-0,
it's good.
That 2 nights in a row we've had shutouts.
That's right. That's right.
Entering the fourth quarter.
We'll be back with more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
Great pass from Gio Lopez to Tyreek Walker to set up that 3-yard touchdown carry by Dante Snodgrass as the Jets extend their lead 32-0 over the Panthers. Corey, maybe we should start thinking about or should we even think about it, our Career Tech Education Player of the Game tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should start thinking about it. And 10-13 remaining.
That's a live ball, Corey. That's a live ball.
Goes out of bounds.
And it goes out of bounds. But that was close. That was close.
You're hoping that the ball does stay in bounds, but the young fella from Murphy, Fernando Brown, I say the young fella, he's fresh in the second half, probably doesn't make the best of decisions in that situation.
You got to pick that thing
yards.
up.
Yeah,
that's right.
If it goes 10 yards, it is a live football. And because of it, he was hoping that it did roll out of bounds. But if it would have stayed still and died like some of the golf shots that I've attempted to make in my lifetime.
None of mine died. they just roll off the green, or they're short of the green, one of the two.
Hey, I tell you, that pigskin makes some funny bounces sometimes. But it did roll out of bounds, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 35-yard line. As, again, they've gone with the big backs here in the second half, and let's see if they decide to run the football or go stretch the field vertically. It doesn't look like James Clemens has any help over the top, just single coverage.
And that's going to be an offsides against James Clemens as the young man clutching his helmet right there. Jack Kreider saying, oh, sorry about that, coach. That'll cost him 5. So 1st and 5 coming up here for the Panthers. Ball at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, let's look at see if there's any help over the top over there on that far sideline. If not, that's somewhere that you want to look.
Hand off to Jackson. He picks up about 3. We'll call it a 2nd and 2, Corey. See where they spot this at. So it's at the 43. It'll be 2nd and 2 coming up.
Greg Robinson at the top of your screen has single coverage by the cornerback.
One-on-one.
And You don't even have to go play action there. It's just mano a mano if they decide not to run the football.
Fernando Brown checks back into the ball game, takes the carry, comes to the near side, past the midfield stripe, steps out of bounds about the 46. So good run right there from Brown, and the chains move for the Panthers.
The most positive thing that can happen is he gets out of bounds quickly. 9:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It gives you an opportunity to move the chains, stops the clock as we do move the chains because he did run out of bounds also. You look at the great formation by Murphy running to their own sideline, and Brown with a little stop and go. And looks like we're going to have a timeout call.
James Clemens has called timeout. Speaking of James Clemens, Corey, came across this nugget the other day. For the second straight year, James Clemens had a former player picked in the NFL draft. Last year, the Detroit Lions chose Kentucky guard Logan Steinberg in the 4th round with the 121st selection. And this year, the Tennessee Titans chose Georgia inside linebacker Monty Rice in the 3rd round with the 92nd selection. So back-to-back years, the James Clemens Jets have played some players in the NFL.
That's always impressive. And I go back and thinking about Murphy and their historical run of guys that have become NFL superstars, and you think back to Keith McCants, who prepped here at Murphy High School, along with one of the most recent, and Captain Munnerlyn from Minnesota Vikings and Carolina Panthers fame, and he had a great career in the NFL wearing that Panther uniform. Taylor Stallworth gets picked up by the Saints, and he plays a little bit of time with the Saints. And you just love to see local guys here and really in the entire state of Alabama get their name called no matter where they decide to go ahead and go to college.
1st and 10 here for the Panthers. As you talked about it, Corey Robinson at the top of the screen, one-on-one coverage. Hand off to Tyler Thornton. Coach Rico Jackson just going back to old school bruising power eye football here. Picks up about 7 to 8.
You know,
and it's working.
And here's the thing: if the game is a 1 or 2 score game and a lot closer, sometimes you're looking ahead to where I'm building toward next week.
Correct.
And looking at Murphy's schedule, who they play next week, I think it's Foley.
They're hosting Foley next week.
Be here. So it gives Foley and head coach Derek Scott a lot to look at on film.
Fernando Brown bouncing it outside, but now he's being bounced backwards by the Jets.
Upended by Andrew Millar, 5'11", 220-pound junior with a nice stop.
So Corey, let's go back to our Career Tech Education Player of the game. Who you thinking about? I have a particular guy in mind. As I said, he reminds me of a player who plays in the professional ranks right now, and first name starts with a T and last name starts with a T.
Yeah,
it's kind of similar, just slightly. Puts me in the mindset of the young man. Travell Jackson fumbles that one. That'll be the 5th turnover tonight that Murphy has given up. Ball just punched out, Corey.
Well, let's go back to looking at this replay as the Panthers are able to get positive yardage, probably picking up the first down on the play, plenty of yardage, and then all of a sudden the ball is poked out on the play.
Darren Verhage punched it out, Corey.
And if we're able, guys in the truck, to bring up my checklist and take a look at what Murphy and James Clemens needed to do to win this game, one of the first things for Murphy is being able to run the ball. Well, when you were able to run the ball just then, you turned it over. Panther pounce. Well, you're not tackling well here in the second half and minimize middle mistakes. Well, there's one of those middle mistakes that cost Murphy 5th turnover tonight by the Panthers.
Low snap to Lopez. I'm actually surprised Lopez still in the ball game, Corey, as he gets that one out to Tyreek Walker.
You know, I'm not really surprised because you want him to get his reps in.
Okay.
looking at the scoreboard, you've been doing a good job of protecting him, and you let him know with the play calls he's either going to hand it off or roll out of the pocket to where he's going to stay clean. So unless it's one of those unfortunate injuries that he would sustain, James Clemens doing everything they need to make sure they take care of the football.
Fresh legs. Chance Murphy comes into the ball game and takes that carry right up the gut into Panthers territory, Corey, as we approach the 7-minute mark here in the ball game.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all in this situation. Just
Murphy once again with the carry.
You're starting to look at James Clemens going into their roster now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see a guy on the field, number 35. Sorry, 38, Dawson Whitehead. Corey, I saw him line up in the slot. He's 6'7". I had to pull out the roster and say, where did this guy come from? And, Corey, as suspected, we have a quarterback change. But before that, I believe we're going to have a timeout from Coach Rico Jackson. Yeah, they made the switch. Michael Ross, the backup, was about to come in.
Also, we're going to have the Heat timeout.
It's close, 6:28. I wonder if Coach Jackson wants to take this one, and he knows that he'll get a free one on the other side, first dead ball under the 6-minute mark. To find out what's happening in Mobile County Public Schools, from school news to weather alerts, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or our website, MCPSSTheWire.com. Mobile County Public Schools, learning today, leading tomorrow. James Clemens leading right now 32-0 all over the Panthers. Corey, we want to definitely avoid a shutout for the second night in the row. And tomorrow we're going to come back and wrap up our triple hitter as we made history. 3 high school football games back to back to back. Blunt versus Viger tomorrow. It's cousin versus cousin, brother versus brother, Corey.
And I like to call it, I know they say the Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all. But from a high school standpoint, this is what I call the granddaddy
Corey,
of them
I'll put it to you like this. I was listening to our buddy Randy Kennedy the other day on a Sports Talk 99.5, and he said if an alien landed in Mobile and they said, I want to go to a high school football game, he said the game I would take them to would be Blunt and Viger.
Absolutely.
That's how huge of a game it is. Offsides against the Panthers. So James Clemens, it appears as if they will pick up the first down off of that penalty, Corey. I know that's got to burn Coach Rico Jackson up to have a penalty out of a timeout. So we'll get a look at the young man, Michael Ross, as he hands it off to Chance Murphy. And, boy, he is wrapped up immediately. Welcome to the ball game by Tim Haynes. Wow, great tackle right there by the junior Murphy Panther. So no gain for Murphy there. You're going to go back to him once again, Corey, and he is met by another Murphy Panther wrapped up immediately.
Zykees James getting an opportunity to play both sides of the football.
Coming over from offense, right? Now we're under 6 minutes. And the clock hasn't stopped, so maybe Ron Coleman is not going to worry about that heat timeout, Corey.
I would hope not, because here at 10:54 at night.
Offsides by Murphy, right.
Especially with the timeout being called right there prior to.
By Coach Rico Jackson, right. So, Corey, your thoughts on the Career Tech Education Player of the Game? Who do you think about?
Two people are in consideration.
I'm with you.
For the Jets. That would be Mr. Gio Lopez and along with Mr. Dante Snodgrass.
Those two I were thinking about, but I'm seeming to like the former rather than the latter. But both of them did a great job, but I think Mr. Lopez definitely showed out tonight, Corey.
Yeah, he was able to run this offense and be balanced. And anytime you're able to get your backup quarterback and some impressive backup personnel in the game, it's always great. And I said that makes that 6.5 to 7 hour bus ride back to Huntsville, Alabama, a lot better and a lot sweeter for these Jets.
DJ Williams on the carry right there. Fourth and about 8 coming up here for the Jets. I wonder if Coach Chad McGee is going to burn a timeout as they're letting the play clock run down. Young quarterback looking over to the sidelines.
Burn as much time as you can in this situation.
They do snap it. Give it back to Chance Murphy. Weaving his way just past the 25-yard line. So we will have a ball over on downs. Just one score in the second half, Corey, as the Jets put up 25 points in the first half. But we did see the return of showers in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that was huge.
Here at Lad People Stadium. It sure made a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it changes your entire game plan because Rico Jackson told us at the preseason media days that he wanted to go 4, 5, maybe 6 backs and had the ability to do so.
Yeah, he has the body. Yeah.
And they showed that here in the second half and even in the first half. But the turnovers were just too much to overcome here tonight at Lad People Stadium. But it does, again, give Foley something to look at next week. If you're in a close situation, he has the big bodies where he can hand that ball off and let that offensive line maul away at the Foley Lions next week.
Tyler Thornton with the carry. It looked like the ball came loose there for a second, Corey, but maybe he recaptured it. Or maybe that was Travell Jackson on the carry. Speaking of coaches, Corey, I saw a couple of the Davidson Warriors assistants on the concourse. On the concourse. So I didn't see the head coach. You saw the head coach on the concourse doing the weather delay. Okay, so they're out here scouting as well. There's Thornton with the carry as he crosses the 35-yard line.
You know, you just want to finish this game clean if you're the Murphy Panthers.
That's
and
right.
Stay healthy. You don't have a bye week next week. You step right into this game and play the Foley Lions, which is a huge region game. And you mentioned that Murphy missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Sure did.
So you want to start 1-0 in region play. If you're head coach Rico Jackson, that's the name of the game. James Clemens goes back to Huntsville, and we'll see how they fare next week also.
Ball hits the turf on the fumble, but the Panthers are able to pounce on top of it. Be second down and about 11 coming up here for Derek Davis and the crew. Fernando Brown checking back into the ball game for the Panthers as well. As we are under 3 minutes here at Lad People's Memorial Stadium, Al Weed and Corley Bounty. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. It was delayed by an hour and a half, but we finally put toe to leather tonight, Corey.
And that's the good thing. We actually got a game to broadcast, even though it's close to 11 o'clock finishing up. You know, next week, Athens High School steps in and plays these James Clemens Jets. It'll be interesting to see how that game finishes up for them as Murphy continues to try to get positive yardage on offense.
Set up the screen to Desarian Handy. And he kind of just bounces around like a pinball. All right, Corey, let's get up our Career Tech Education Player of the Game tonight. And I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. Gio Lopez.
And that
great
TT
game tonight.
You were talking about?
Go ahead and say it, Corey.
That would be the one and only Tim Tebow. Tight end Tim Tebow.
Not exactly what I was thinking, Corey.
Oh, sorry.
he got cut this week, Corey.
Sorry, wrong one.
But you know what? Go a little farther south in the state of Florida, Corey. Just one. You know we have on the Crimson tonight, right?
Oh, yes, we do have on the Crimson tonight, Al.
Well, you know, at this late of a juncture, Corey, I appreciate the levity that you have in the broadcast, but
no, Tua Tagovailoa.
Kind of shades of Tua.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of Tua.
You know, you're left-handed and you're able to stay cool and didn't really turn the ball over. That's the biggest thing. James Clemens didn't have any turnovers, and he didn't force any throws. He let the plays come to him, rolling outside of the pocket, checking down at the line of scrimmage, making some great throws, and
Right.
had a couple of drops early by his wide receivers that would have led to even more points by this James Clemens teams. But they capitalized when they needed to capitalize, and they're going to go away with a 32-0 win. And, again, the second night in a row we've had a shutout.
That's right.
By an opponent to start the high school football season. That's uncommon. But, again, you're looking at a Murphy Panther offense that averaged 12.3 points per game 1 year ago, and they gave up 20 points per game. So they'll go back to the drawing board and get things right with the Foley Lions, because one thing about Rico Jackson, you know, he's one of those early to bed, late to bed type of guys to where he works hard and burns that midnight oil. And I know that he will make the corrections that need to be made on the turnaround here next week.
Because they open region play, like we said, hosting Foley next Friday. And, Corey, we talked about our game tomorrow, Blunt versus Viger, but we will actually open region play as we'll go to the Hornets' Nest next Friday, and as Baker will host Theodore.
Let me tell you about that
game. So
game.
we'll go into 7A action as well.
You know, Baker blanks UMS Wright tonight.
Okay.
And that's the first shutout that UMS Wright has sustained since maybe 2017.
Gotcha.
And then you're turning around, and I do believe Theodore defeated Saraland, avenging that loss one year ago. And Eric Collier, I think, has won 7A region 2 out of the last 3 years.
Sure has.
So they're showing up to play some great football also. So that's going to be a great matchup, a critical region matchup early at the Hornets' Nest.
It sure will. As we are close to wrapping up this contest right here, a night where James Clemens pretty much was in control the entire night. Murphy had opportunities, but as Coach Rico Jackson said at halftime, continued to shoot themselves in the foot tonight. So we're going to make an effort to get head coach Chad McGee over here and chat with him, Corey. We definitely want to show all the hospitality we can to him and all the Jets fans as well for them coming down, making the trip, and putting on a great contest tonight. Although delayed by an hour and a half, we were able to finally get this ball game started and completed now, Corey. So
yeah,
there's the win for the Jets tonight, 32-0 over Murphy.
It's official, and the Jets took over early, capitalizing off of some penalties. But, you know, great sportsmanship shown by both of these programs, and that's what you like to see. Again, official game time ending at 11:02 p.m. Central Time. Probably one of the longest games we've had in regards to time-wise because of the late kickoff. But right at 2.5 hours it takes to complete this football game here tonight at Lad Peoples Stadium. That's the good thing, that we were able to play this game tonight, and that's big time for the program. You know, Al, 32-0, a shutout. That's the way James Clemens, you wanted to start fast.
That's right.
They wanted to be balanced. They wanted to stay ahead of down and distance, have a strong start.
Correct.
They definitely were able to do that from my checklist standpoint. And being balanced, we talked about at halftime having almost an equal amount of rushing and passing yards, which was huge. So James Clemens comes away with a big-time win as they will play Athens next week at home. Murphy, again, host Foley here at Lad Peoples Stadium. But it's a final 32-0 in a very rain-delayed, weather-delayed lightning situation here at Lad Peoples Stadium tonight, Al. As I know we're efforting to get the head football coach of James Clemens prior to him talking to his team.
That's right. We're going to try to get the end of the game stats up here momentarily as everything is calculated. He's talking to his team and making an effort to get Coach McGee here to the sidelines to talk to him about this performance tonight with his ball club, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big
there we
time
are. We
win.
have the stats here.
The balance of James Clemens, 152 rushing yards.
Look at it, yeah.
157 passing yards. And after penalties, you know, you start looking at the total yardage well over almost 300 yards.
Right.
150 and 150 in my mind is 300. No turnovers, 10 penalties for 80 yards, 257 total yards. For James Clemens, I think they had close to 257 after penalties.
Right.
But the balance definitely was there by James Clemens, and just the turnovers were a little bit too much for the Murphy Panthers.
Yeah, those 5 turnovers
to overcome.
really did a lot, Corey. Especially we know there were 3 before halftime tonight as well. So we know that it was very huge that Murphy had to overcome a lot, being down 25 points at halftime. And in the second half, James Clemens put up just one score. And we know the rain that came back as well. So we're trying to hopefully get the effort to try to get Coach McGee over here. He's continuing to talk to his team, Corey, but I believe we may have to wrap it up. So we're going to head on out of here. Thank you for joining us tonight for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Don't forget, tomorrow it's Blount versus Viger. We will go live at 4:50 right here from Lad Peoples Memorial Stadium. James Clemens gets the win tonight, 32-0 over Murphy. You've been watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State Community College. For Corley Bounty, Quentin Howard, and Wade Ford in the truck, I'm Al Wheaton. Thank you for joining us. Have yourself a great night.